Check 1 2 2 1 2 2 2 1. Evening, everybody. Una Mikey. What's going? Hey, Ida Dacty. Long time no see. What's going on? What's going on, Ida Dacty? Tally me's dreaming. Isn't that your sound effect? Bittersweet. Good evening. How are you all doing? Been on honeymoon in Hawaii.
Hello.
Evening, brace yourself. KS787, evening to you. How are you? Honeymoon in Hawaii. So, my wife and I, when we got married 20 years ago, we decided to take most of our spending money that we received from the wedding and put it towards a TV instead of the honeymoon. We ended up going to scenic Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I had never been to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. So that's where we went for our honeymoon. And it was fun. But we ended up spending the rest of our money on a 51-inch Sony rear projection TV. And we had that TV for probably 10 years, and it had to be replaced a few times because it always had bulbs go out. And yeah, it was one of the it was a really popular model of Sony. It was that gray, big, huge, on wheels, right? But it, we figured a TV would last longer than a honeymoon, and maybe not the memories. No, it wasn't the Vega. It was the what was I wonder if I can rear projection. Let me see. Yeah, there it is. This is exactly it.
That thing was like $2,500.
Yeah, it was $2,000. Wonder if I can I go to the link? I don't know. How do you? Oh, there it is. Wow, that's so weird. It's actually on Best Buy's website, but not really. When did you get this TV? Feel like may have said something. So there's the link, Firewood. It was, we got it around 2000. I mean, I guess it would have been 2002, but I feel like we had it earlier than that. Won't give up. Evening, Raven. So if you click on that link, you'll see the TV that probably looks like something you might have had. And I remember we loved it. 16 by 9 RPTV. Talk about rare. Was it, though? I don't think it really was. John says the 61 XBR 300 is $25 on eBay. Oh, don't hurt me, John. Hold on, let me look and see. No, that one's a 4x3, right? What I just sent was the right one. Be in a moment trying to not burn my eyebrows off in the kitchen. Good luck, Raven. We're all counting on you. Grim Baru, evening. Firewood says, my parents got a TV similar around then, and we had to change the bulbs every once. Yeah, they would go blue or yellow. Redbox, does it say $25 with $500 shipping? That's pretty funny. Ididacty says we got a new TV Samsung frame just before the wedding, so we used all the donations from the wedding for the trip to Hawaii. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think we ended up. I remember we saved up $1,000 on our own, and then we got $1,000 for the wedding. So we ended up buying the TV for $2,000 by paying for half of it with the wedding money, and then we ended up spending probably a few $100s to go to Gatlinburg. I mean, it probably wasn't anything crazy. I mean, how long did we stay in Gatlinburg? Just 2 nights? Probably just a weekend. You think it was longer? I don't think it was a week. I think it would have been a weekend. We weren't there, yeah. That's right. So yeah, that TV was pretty popular at the time, and we got it at a local TV store, a small locally owned place. And after a year, the bulb started freaking out, and they replaced it for free. And then they even gave us a loaner TV while we were waiting for it to be repaired. And then like another year later, it ended up messing up again. And then on the third time something went wrong with it, they finally told us, okay, you have a choice. You can have your money back and we'll just call it even, or you can have a 5-year warranty for free. And I was like, we'll take the 5-year warranty because we like the TV. We'll take the 5-year warranty. And we used it. We used that 5-year warranty. So through the 8 years, at least during that time, we needed it because those things just could not hold up. Put it in the vault. I'm locking the vault. It's a vault.
Je suis le président de Burundi.
Evening Hapes, Defiant, Sniped. Jado says, oh my, Flig's in trouble. You're supposed to remember every second of your honeymoon. I remember things. I remember putt-putt. I remember we went putt-putting in that indoor place. We went to a steak place. Well, that was the Peddler. We went to the Peddler. We got a gift certificate from my boss at the Drum Center, Kevin. He gave us a $75 gift certificate. How do I remember that? $75 gift certificate to go to a place called the Peddler in Gatlinburg. If you've never been to Gatlinburg, it's really good. I remember some things, just not being so old and black. Turn it left. Turn it left. Viper Strike, good evening. By the way, that's an Aqua Teen Hunger Force, if you don't know that line. Good old Kevin. Brace yourself, remembers Kevin. So Ididacty, look at this. It says the whole tipping culture boggles my mind. I guess it's there to maintain a high standard of service, but me and my partner found the opposite. The waitstaff would come to the table every 5 minutes or so asking if everything was okay, if we wanted more drinks. We found it very interrupting. Where I come from, if you need something, you get the attention of the waitstaff. Oh, no. Complete opposite. And yes, Tweak. No, complete opposite, Ididacty. We don't want to wave you down. The thing is, the serve, because I used to be a server, Ididacty. I waited tables for years in college at nice places too. And as a server, you shouldn't have to go to the table and ask them if they need anything. You should just be able to see that their drinks need refilling. Like, don't ever ask your customer if they need a refill. Just give them one. You do it. If they don't want it, they don't have to drink it. As for if the food's okay, yeah, you want to at least ask once. But other than that, kind of leave them alone. But it is different. Now, Ididacty, the reason we tip is because our restaurants don't want to pay the wages. So the reason there are tips is because...
You're killing me, Smalls.
What's up, Bryce? Because the wage for servers is $2.13 an hour. That's the same wage, and I'm pretty sure if you Google it, it should still be $2.13. When I was waiting tables 23 years ago, it was $2.13 an hour. It hadn't changed. I don't think that wage has changed in over 20 years. So, is that right? It's still the same thing. So $2.13 an hour, and the restaurants do that on purpose because they want the customers to pay for the salary of the servers, and it helps keep the cost down of the food product. But that's probably not necessarily true. I think I've seen that too. Minimum wage for non-tipped employees hasn't changed in that long either. Yeah, Hapes, it's true. It's true. I just read what you said, Hapes. Hapes, you just said, I find tipping stupid. It's passing the financial responsibility for paying the server from the restaurant to the customer. Yes. The thing is, if there were no tipping, then servers, at least in the United States, would probably be less inclined to give you good service because they're going to get paid no matter what. So, I mean, I've had people say, hey, if you treat us well, keep the drinks coming, do everything you need, I've got an extra $50 at the end. And Firewood, are you talking about the Kitchen Nightmares episode where the owner of the restaurant, it's in Arizona. John knows what I'm talking about. There's an Arizona Kitchen Nightmares episode where the owner takes the server's tips. And then when Gordon Ramsay goes to the table and says, hey, would you have a problem if you knew that your tip didn't go to your server, it went to the owner? Would you have done that? Would you have given the tip? And the owner said, or the customer said, no, we wouldn't have tipped. And then he went to the owner and said, why are you taking your server's tips? He says, well, if she did a good job, I would let her have it. Yeah. Sammy and Amy, John says. Habe says that's not true. There are places that say to customers, no tipping, we pay our people a real salary, and the servers give just fine service. I mean, I don't know about... That's a broad generalization. The servers give just fine service. I'm sure there's still times where they don't, right? I mean, it's probably not, they're not perfect. But if there's a tip, if there's a good tip on the line, maybe they'll work harder. Am I condoning it? No, I think, I definitely think the restaurants should, I mean, listen, as a former server, I definitely think the restaurants should pay them. I always used to say the check I would get from the restaurant would ultimately be like $25. You know, I'd work like 15 hours a week waiting tables, and I'd get a $25 check. And that $25 was just tax. All of it was just tax. I'd get zero, you know? What job haven't I done? That's a good question, Wormhole. I've done a lot. I mean, when I was growing up, I worked at Arby's, Subway, a taco place called Tacos 2, T-O-O. I worked at Kroger in the deli. I fueled airplanes. I sold men's accessories, which was ties, dress shirts, wallets, cologne, all that at Dillard's, which was then called McAlpin's. I did a lot to supplement my income in whatever I could to make money. If a waitstaff was rude, they would eventually get enough complaints that they would be fired. Got any pictures of what, Defiant? Pictures of what? Oh, by the way, tonight's drink. It's that Frosty brand again, but it's root beer. But it's Frosty root beer.
Kentucky!
Hey, why does he go to Kentucky?
Yeah, what do we do in Kentucky?
Evening Pratt, evening Skrill. Now the other bottle, it's interesting. The other bottle, they were bragging about how they've been open since 1938, but not anymore. Yeah, hopefully so, Shawnee. Here we go. I mean, that's okay. I don't think it's as good as the Sprecher that we've talked about. We have that Sprecher cream soda, and they have a root beer as well. You with these jobs you started out with. Oh, pictures of me working those jobs? God, no. I don't think cameras had been invented then, Defiant. Oh, gosh. It's okay. That's not as good as the other stuff, but it's fine. I remember one time. What's up, G.I. Joseph? Cue the Hapes auto-tune text or chat. What was I going to say? Oh, hold on. Let me read what Raven said, and I'll tell you what I was going to say. I had a car washing job here in Phoenix where we considered tip staff. Had my first heat stroke on that job. There were no awnings. Wasn't allowed to turn on the vehicles we were cleaning the inside of. And what was my check per week? $45. And then you're just crying in your beer and you don't drink beer. Eclipse says, Happy St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day, Eclipse. G.I. Joseph, how are you doing?
We just become best friends. Yep.
Flaky even in F.
Bearded, thank you for the 5 months. How are you doing, Bearded? Thank you. New job, professional root beer taster. I could do that with cream sodas. The problem is there are not enough cream sodas. It's not like wine. It's not like where there's tens of thousands of kinds of wines. I think there's like 20 cream sodas. I do want to do a blind cream soda taste test at some point.
Elaine, who is this guy? Fliggity, that Kramer keeps mentioning he watches. And what's a fliggity?
So weird. What's a fliggity? Hey, what's going on, Comic Crazy? Yeah, Defiant Prawn, that's my drink of choice. Bearded, thank you again for the sub. So I remember waiting tables at a really nice place, and I got a penny. And I was not happy. I was young, you know, I needed the tip. And I took the booklet, you know, you had a tip book or whatever, and I had the penny in it, and and I was standing next to an older server, and I was pretty angry. I was like, why did I just get a penny? And the person said, was it heads up? I had to open it again. I was like, yes. That means good service. I said, well, don't show it to me that way. That was, I guess, an old way of doing it. A heads up penny meant good service. I was like, don't care. Having the pre-calculated amounts on the receipt was a bit of a guilt trip. Even if the service wasn't great, I would feel guilty giving a low tip. Well, Ididacty, that's a great point. The percentages is a thing that's not new, but it's relatively new. As if we don't have the ability to check percentages on our calculator on our phone, you know? But here's the thing, what you have to really be careful of is when they automatically add the tip, because if usually places that do groups of 6 or more automatically add tip. And a lot of times, servers will try to get a tip on top of that tip. What they'll do is the tip will be added, right? And then what they'll do is they'll do a circle through circling the total price, and then they'll say like thank you, but they'll make sure to write over where the tip is, where it was included. So they try to get you, because a lot of times when parties or groups are happening, people aren't paying attention. Like the person that's paying for it is not paying attention, and they just see the total, they just write it, and they want to be cool and close the book real quick and make it look like it's not a big deal. And next thing you know, your $60 tip is $120. You know, the whole walking off with your bank card too in the UK and Australia, people walking out of sight with your card is a big taboo. I haven't had that problem. I haven't seen that. But yeah, the percentages are crazy too, because now the percentages are they're even getting more and more. Like before, 15% was a good tip. Then 18% was a good tip. Then 20% was a good tip. Now they're like, is 25% okay? Oh, Redbox, watch for it. It's pretty common if you're in a large group, especially a group that's paying a lot of money, where like if, you go to a nice place and you've got like a group of 10 and everybody's spending like $80 and your ticket's like $800 for the whole thing and they're adding 20%, it's $160. Well, you already know you're going to pay a lot of money. So now your total bill's $960 and you don't think about it. And you're like, oh, $960, 20% on 9, and you just don't even look, So it sucks. Well, let's see here. We need to fly, right? Give them a tank of gas as a tip. They would take the bank card away from the table to pre-authorize the payment. Yes. Over here, they bring a POS point to the table. You pay as leave. Ididacty, that's very common. No, that's normal. You put your bank card in the booklet. They take your book away. They swipe it, bring it back. That's normal here. There are some places that you can do card swipes at the table, but that's more corporate, like Applebee's type places. That's not normal in the rest of the world. Is that true? Really? Hey, what's up, Pilot Deviation? No, I don't. I don't even question it. I don't even think about it just because it's so common. Tweak, that doesn't surprise me. Place like Olive Garden, yes. Not normal, brace yourself, says bank card never leaves your line of sight in the rest of the world. We all have chip cards. You can't swipe cards anymore. I mean, I swipe cards all the time, but I do chip cards. But I swipe, yeah. Chip and pin, no swipe, using a card machine at the table almost everywhere now. I mean, maybe here in Kentucky, we're just behind the times. But I'm just used to that. Thanks for reminding us America sucks. Oh, man. Minimum wage is $20 an hour. Man, that's the dream. All right, so listen, we got to fly tonight. Let's figure out what we're gonna do tonight. All right, obviously we got to figure out airports, and we gotta talk about what the plan is. Blue Yonder had mentioned last night the possibility of doing a VATSIM VFR flight with flight following, I believe. And obviously I don't know really how to do that. So maybe we can do that tonight. I'll need help. But I wanted to at least pull up what the map looks like tonight. It's fairly easy. I tried to watch a video on it, but I didn't have time to finish it. I had band rehearsal tonight, so I just didn't have a lot of time. So my understanding is flight following is just they have, I guess, an awareness of where you are at all times. Is that true? Is that right? I'm going to join you, Blue Yonder. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So I remember when we first started Flight Sim and we were using the in-game ATC, they would say things like flight following, and that term meant nothing to me. It still kind of means nothing to me. Is it essentially that control always has tabs on me? That way I'm never like you can request flight following so they always know where you are. Is that right?
No. Yeah, so it kind of mimics how it works in the real world. Flight following is more or less for your safety. It's not for anything else. Like air traffic control doesn't deconflict you, at least not very much. They can do a little bit of deconfliction, but not very much. They're not legally allowed to. What you do is you when you're flying between say two separate airports in class in Canada it's class G, and I think it's class G as well in the US, or class E. When you're flying between two airports, you're not under air traffic control, you're just doing a standard VFR flight. You can call the local air traffic control and say, I'd like flight following, and then you enter a code, and then they're able to see exactly where you are that entire flight. And if you suddenly go missing, you drop off, they're able to send out the search party effectively immediately for you, and then they can just kind of effectively keep tabs on you.
Is it something that you would do if you felt like maybe the weather conditions were bad? Is that why you would do it?
Yeah, it's partially for that. It's less for weather, it's more for search and rescue. So that's when you're filing a flight plan for VFR, you're flying for search and rescue. You're not filing for anybody else.
Okay.
You're flying so that if you don't reach your destination on time, they're able to send out search and rescue, and they know exactly what your path is. So that's why it's most important not to deviate off that path. However, you absolutely can file a VFR flight plan and go completely off the rails on that one. And flight following is really handy for that, because now they're tracking you for that entire time.
Okay, and Redbox says if weather is bad, you shouldn't be flying VFR. So he's right. So maybe it's more of a case of, let's say you're just flying out in the middle of nowhere. Is that more of it?
Yeah, now it kind of depends on where you're flying in the middle of nowhere, because there is places that absolutely don't have coverage from air traffic control for flight following either.
Hold on. Even in sax, man. Sorry, I had to make sure Careless Whisper was played. Speaking of, I need you to help me with Discord audio at some point.
Yeah, I was going to offer that to hop into the voice chat before the stream, but unfortunately I was out 3D printing stuff.
Would you be available when the stream is over tonight?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you. Maybe we can get it after the stream is over. Thank you. Well, and Redbox says I like flight following on VATSIM because I can listen to ATC and learn, and that's kind of what I want to do. So we'll kind of need to go through some steps and figure this out. But what are your suggestions, looking at this map right now, on where we should start? What are we looking for?
So my suggestion is, first thing we have to kind of learn is a little bit about the different classes of airspace, because the idea is you want flight following outside of the standard controlled airspace. You want to be able to fly VFR, so air traffic control is not going to be telling you what to do. You're just going to be flying between two airports. So in many ways, I would suggest let's find something busy and just go fly it. So
let's look here. Can we? I've just pulled this up. because I don't know the differences. Can we look at this?
Yeah.
Can you see this?
I want to change the scene a bit.
Oh, yep. Thank you. I apologize.
And as Tweaker first said, it's a bit of an upside down cake. So we start at the Class A, Class Alpha airspace, which is high level. It's like it covers the entirety of the airspace. That's above in the US 18,000 feet. Don't really worry about that. We don't have to worry about that for right now. Next one down is the Class Bravos, and there's only a handful of Class Bravos in the States.
We
don't
dealt with
actually
one
have
in
Class
Vegas.
Bravo. Exactly, Vegas is one. Miami was another one, which we skirted around a little bit last night. The Bravo in Miami.
Would New York be
the
one?
Bravos? New York's definitely one. Yep. It's effectively for the biggest of the biggest airports,
Okay.
and it's mostly there to kind of let you know that if you're a VFR plane, you should be avoiding this like the plague.
You should
not
be
a good
avoiding.
place to
You should be avoiding Class B if you're in a VFR.
Exactly. It's really designed for being highly controlled in airplanes that are designed to get lots of people into very busy airports.
Okay.
So that's kind of what that one's for. Now, the special thing about Bravo and even Charlie airspace is that you need to both have a radio and a transponder. So you have to be establishing two-way communication with the tower, and you also need to have a transponder that lets them know exactly where you are.
Where you are, okay.
So that's kind of what's special about those.
So let me read this real quick. So Class C is generally airspace from the surface to 4,000 feet above airport elevation surrounding those airports that have an operational control tower, are serviced by radar approach control, and have a certain number of IFR operations or passenger emplanements. Although the configuration of each Class C area is individually tailored, the airspace usually consists of a surface area with a 5 nautical mile radius, an outer circle with a 10 nautical mile radius that extends from 1,200 feet to 4,000 feet above the airport elevation, and an outer area. I hope you all are taking notes. There'll be a test at the end. Each aircraft must establish two-way radio communications. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So I would actually recommend at this point opening up Sky Vector, because that's going to show you the best visualization you can see of this.
Okay, Sky Vector, go in there now. Okay, so what airport?
Well, let's go to Miami because we were there last night.
Okay, so I'll type it in. Okay, so here's Miami, and then we'll hit this. Here we go. So the blue circles is Bravo.
Yes, we're going to want to see, yes, the blue is Bravo, and we can see it kind of structured like a inverted wedding cake is what they say. Mm-hmm. So you'll have a very small space for Bravo airspace at the very bottom. So that's the really small circle, right, kind of in the middle there.
Right here, that's this one here that's a solid line.
Yep, yeah, exactly. So that first one goes right from the ground.
So that's from surface to 7,000.
Correct, exactly.
So
then the next,
what does that necessarily mean though? It's Class Bravo airspace from the surface to 7,000 feet.
Correct. Yeah. So if you're flying in this airspace between the ground and 7,000 feet, you must be communicating with this air traffic control group.
So okay, so that's the key, because I was like, just telling me it's Class Bravo airspace doesn't necessarily tell me what to do with that information. Like, okay, it's Class Bravo. So what do I do with that information?
So the way to remember it is that as you go from Class A all the way down to Class G, Class A is much more restrictive. And you can remember that Class Bravo, you always need to be in communication with the air traffic controller.
Okay.
And you always have to have a transponder. Now, was
okay.
it Tweakifer that said, or Redbox said Mode C? In the States, it's not Mode C anymore. You actually need a Mode S transponder in the States.
I've never heard of Mode S.
It's just it's a more advanced version of a Mode C transponder. It
What's
doesn't
the
just
difference?
include your well, I have a video about this. You can see on my YouTube channel.
Oh goodness. So that's great. So I'll have to watch that video. So I know that Mode A, it doesn't track your altitude. It only tracks your location, correct?
Correct.
Mode
yes.
C,
It only.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Mode C gets your altitude, and then Mode S also
Yes.
tracks your GPS location, so it's dramatically more accurate.
So it's the same thing, just more detailed.
Yes, exactly.
So now
Exactly. So
KS787 says Class B also needs clearance. That was my question. You said you have to be in Class Bravo, you have to maintain communication all the time, but you also need clearance to be in that.
Correct. Yeah. So that's part of the two-way communication. There is some places, I believe it's the Class Delta in the States. In Canada, we have a slightly different airspace system, and in the class, for example, in Canada, we have certain Class Deltas and Echoes where you don't need to be in where you can be in communication, but they can't turn you away. In Bravo, they have to let you in. If they don't let you in, they can reject you, and you have to turn around and get out of there.
So what you're telling me is, if I wanted to land at KMIA, would I have to request Class Bravo clearance as a specific request?
Correct. Yeah, and you would just ask. You'd say your location and that requesting entrance to the Bravo to land at Miami.
Say that one more time.
So you'd say where you are.
Yeah.
So
you say I'm
can
15 miles southeast of KMIA, although you'd have to do that phonetically, requesting clearance for Class Bravo airspace?
Yeah, entrance to the Bravo for landing at the airport.
For landing at the airport. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
usually if you actually zoom in on the map a little bit off to the left there of that first circle, you'll see it says North Cement Plant.
North, I see it here. Yes.
So that's a VFR. That's called a VFR Call-Up Point.
Uh-huh.
And usually you call when you're over those points. Now that one's pretty close in, but it is a good navigational point. So there's another one a little bit further out from there, a little bit further to the left.
This says Chrome Avenue and the trail.
Exactly. So those are good call-up points. So when you're coming in a slower plane, when you're over those ones, you can call up saying, I'm over Chrome Avenue and at 4,000 feet inbound for landing, requesting entrance to the Bravo, and they'll tell you if you're allowed to come in. They'll give you a squawk code if you don't already have it. That's your transponder code.
Okay.
That's how they are able to figure out where you are.
Okay, that's good to know. That's good. So let me ask this, because this was something I actually started worrying about a little bit after last night when we were talking about airspaces, and I was like, this seems to be a whole nother level of things I don't know if I'm ready for, but I think we are. I just want clarification. These blue circles are all Class Bravo. Is that correct?
Correct.
So you can't. So if I'm at Chrome, I'm essentially already in Class Bravo because I had to do it over here in this blue circle.
Sort of. So notice how I pointed out the 7,000 to surface there, surface to 7,000. You'll notice that there's little markers at other points over there. And if you look over to the left of that surface to 7,000, it says 7,000 over 15.
Correct.
And then further out,
30.
7,030. So that's only between 15 and 7,000 there, or 1,500 feet and 7,000.
So
that means that if you're at 1,000 feet,
you're not in Class Bravo airspace.
Exactly.
Yes. Okay, so Class Bravo in this ring is only between 3,000 and 7,000.
Correct.
And then if I want to stay out of Class Bravo, I've got to get under 1,500 feet on the next one.
Exactly. So now last night I came up, so while you were doing circuits, I came up in a T6 from an airport further south. And what I did is I skirted underneath that Bravo a VFR before I entered the pattern up there.
So the reason this one is so important is because it's surface to 7,000. You literally have no choice. If you want to be here, you have to have clearance, but you can skirt underneath of these two.
Correct.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
And the reason they have it tiered like that is you can see those there's little airliner pictures over there. Those indicate that there's going to be high-speed airline traffic coming in there. So
I see,
they have to
here.
come in at a exactly. So they're coming in at an angle there, which means that they're not going to be flying at 2,000 feet to come into land. They're
and it says
descending at that point.
Yeah, it says right here. It says this one they can be between 3,000 and 16,000. which
Yep,
is why
exactly.
you need to be under 3,000.
Yep.
Oh, that makes sense. Man, you really have to study these charts to know where you can be. In VFR flying, I mean, you need to know this before you're flying, don't you?
Yeah, you really do. Before you get up in the air, that's why we do a lot of flight planning, to make sure we kind of know where we're going and why we're going certain locations.
Well, and Expressway says you can fly over as well. So if you're over 7,000, you be clear, and that's true. But if I was over the 7,000 here, wouldn't I risk being? I guess air traffic control would tell me not to, but I would risk being in the line between the. I mean, because airliners could be in that over 7,000 here.
Well, you don't have to contact them over 7,000. So remember, 7,000 is the top of that airspace, that Class Bravo. The next airspace starts Class Alpha all the way at 18,000 feet.
So between
you've
7
got
and 18 is nothing.
Exactly. It's
just free reign.
More or less free reign. And that's technically, I believe that's Class Echo in the States. Someone else might correct me on that one, but I believe that's Class Echo, where it's kind of so it's, you don't have to be in communication with anybody. Yeah.
Well, look what it says, Class Echo here. If the airspace is not A, B, C, or D, and it is controlled, then it is Class Echo. Class Echo airspace extends upward from either the surface or a designated altitude to the overlying or adjacent controlled airspace. It sounds like you're right. When designated as a surface area, the airspace will be configured to contain all instrument procedures. And then it does say, also in this class are federal airways, airspace beginning at either 700 or 1,200 feet above ground level, used to transition to and from the terminal or en route environment, and an en route domestic and offshore airspace areas designated below 18,000 feet. That's a lot for me to not understand. Class E airspace begins at 14.5.
Yeah.
And then Class G, Golf, is airspace not designated in any of the others, and it's essentially uncontrolled by ATC except when associated with a temporary control tower. Okay.
So
yeah.
That's generally Class E. You don't have to worry too much about when you're VFR flying. It's either at too high of an altitude, or you're not really required to have a transponder and whatnot.
Tweak says E stands for everywhere else.
Basically, that's exactly what it is.
And pilot deviation, I did read that. VFR flights, you want to do altitudes in 500 because IFR are using thousands. And then also east-west. So if you're going east, it's even, right? If you're going west, it's odd.
No, you're odd if you're going east.
You're odd if you're going east, so you'd be 3,500 if you were going east, and you'd be 4,500 if you're going west.
Correct, yeah, and that's VFR. Now, if you're IFR flying, it's actually at the even thousands. VFR is at the 500s.
Aviator 2x7 says people from the east are odd.
Exactly.
People from the east are odd. So, okay, let's refresh this and let's look and see what we've got. And these are going to take some time to not only come up with the airport, but then look at the charts, figure out the airspace. What do you recommend?
Well, we can try and just YOLO it and find something fairly busy, because we're going to be staying away from all that.
Okay.
And because we're just going to be asking for flight following, we're allowed to kind of do whatever we want.
Okay.
So that's probably the easiest way, is to take off from somewhere that is maybe it's a Class Charlie, which we didn't talk about. Class Charlie is effectively the same as Class Bravo. There's not a whole lot different. I don't remember if Class Charlie you have to they can reject you, but certainly Class Bravo they can. And then there's also the Class Delta, which is the other airports we landed at, which I don't remember the American standard for that. Here we go. I have a chart.
I can't do Toronto KS. I got to do United States. Bryce, maybe 10 minutes. Hold on 1 second. I was wondering about maybe Salt Lake City. I mean, they have ground and tower.
Yep.
And there is an ATIS. We could just do leave from a large. Is that risky? And then
I'd say go for it. There's only 2 people on the ground. It's gonna be pretty chill.
but I don't see an approach that controls this whole. Where do I see who controls this whole area?
That's the big gray there.
Yeah, but I don't see who it is.
Oh,
like usually there's that blue that you can click on. Like I guess these circles.
Or it's white. It's KZLC right there in the center.
Oh! I didn't see that. Okay. So Salt Lake City Center, 120.275. Salt Lake City. Yes, anime, you got it. Pilot Aviation says Salt Lake City has a lot of terrain, though. They do.
Sure.
They do. I will take whatever you all think is my best bet for tonight. Going from one airport to the other with flight following, that's not going to overwhelm me.
Well, what we can do is we could land where we could take off from somewhere like West Wendover, which is just west of Salt Lake City, and then come into the Bravo. I don't know how long that guy's been on though.
Okay, so Salt Lake City is Bravo airspace? I thought it was. Is it not Delta? That D underneath ATIS?
It's Bravo. D is just the that's just which.
That's the info.
Yeah, the info.
So you would know it's Bravo by pulling it up on SkyVector. You wouldn't know that from this.
Exactly.
Okay. I mean, Redbox keeps saying do LAX. That worries. I don't think I want to deal with LAX.
That might be a little bit much.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to do that. Make sure the airport is VFR. Aren't they all VFR?
Well, Class Bravo is, yeah. They could theoretically turn you away.
Oh, really?
At Salt Lake City. Yeah, technically they could because it is Class Bravo. But
VFR conditions. Oh, we'd have to look at the weather, right? So right now, weather says 8 knots from 350. Broken clouds at 18. Few clouds at 14.
Sounds pretty VFR to me.
Visual approaches in use. VFR departures. Flight NOTAMs. What's NOTAMs?
NOTAM. Notice to air. Well, it's Notice to Airmen, but they've renamed it Notice to Air Missions.
They most like Expressway says they most likely won't turn you away on VATSIM though, especially if low traffic. Well,
that's exactly true.
And I wonder if DAL 21 is actually DAL that has the motion sim. I don't know if that's him or not.
Could be.
Although that's Delta Airlines, so probably not. So that's I don't know, he might be leaving, and then this one he might be leaving. It's hard to say. Wind conditions in relation to your aircraft's capabilities is also a factor. Well, 8-knot winds isn't bad. It does look like it's not like they say VFR is not a thing.
Yeah, it's definitely it's VFR right now on all my charts. So
yeah, pilot
worst
aviation.
case, you can always turn the weather off too, and VATSIM doesn't care.
Well, I know, but I want to stick with live weather so there's no confusion. So what airport were you saying to maybe start at and then maybe fly into Salt Lake City?
Yeah, so there is one called West Wendover, which is about an hour west of there.
West Wendover?
Yeah, West Wendover.
Okay. What's the ICAO code?
It would be, was it Echo November? Yeah, Kilo Echo November Victor.
Got it.
So it's about somewhere around an hour out of there.
Is that the salt? Is that next to the Salt Flats?
Correct.
You've been here, haven't you?
Over the Salt Flats.
You've been here.
I have been there. Yeah.
I figured. Yeah.
So what that'll let us do is contact approach. Before departure.
Yes.
And ask for flight following, and they'll give us the directions on how to do that.
Okay.
And what frequency to be on, and yeah, so it's a little bit different process of taking off at an uncontrolled airport. when you call them up saying request to take off, you're ready to taxi, they're gonna just tell you to call when airborne. So they're not going to control you where you're going to go on the ground. They're not going to do any of that. So you're literally sitting there, you're starting up your engine because you don't have to contact them to let them know, and just say you'd like flight following. They'll give you a squawk code, and then you fly, and then contact when you're off the ground.
Okay, I might need you to say that again. I was trying to process a lot of it. So I don't have to like deal with like hold short of runway to get clearance to. I mean, I still have to communicate like that, right?
Yeah, you still have to communicate a bunch of that stuff, but generally speaking, when you're sitting there at the ramp saying that you're sitting here at the ramp, west Wendover, for a VFR departure to Salt Lake City, requesting flight following, they're going to tell you what your squawk code is and to call when airborne.
Okay, call when airborne. Okay, okay, and then just give them our location when we're in the air.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you'll call them up when you're say 1,000 feet and say,
right,
departing west Wendover at 1,000 feet en route for Salt Lake City, and they'll confirm that your radar identified, and then you're allowed to fly however you kind of want to.
What do you mean on route 4? You said route 4.
Oh, on route 4. So
the word FOR. We're on route 4, Salt Lake City.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Sorry, I thought the number. Yeah. Brace yourself says you've only been here on GeoGuessr.
I've got actually great photos of myself on the salt flats with my car on the drone.
That's awesome. It's such a cool area. Okay, so we've got stuff to do. We gotta pull this up. I was gonna ask, do you want me? I don't know if you have a problem with it. Would you want to be on video?
I could.
You want to do your cam? Hold on. If you want to do that, I'm going to watch this alert.
Wrong camera.
Thank you, Brace Yourself, for the tier 3. You didn't click anything? Well, I think I hacked into your account. So thank you again. Okay, let's see here. Video disabled by me? No. There we go. I'm going to wait, oh, it's trying to do that. Okay, hold on. Let me add you. I'm going to try to add your video real quick. This way. Window capture. That's what we
want. I might pop into the sim in observer mode so that I can hear air traffic control immediately.
Gotcha. We'll do it live.
Do it live.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
How's that? That work? Look at that.
That worked.
Very good. Okay. All right. I love your setup. Got the couch.
Yeah, it's nice.
Get comfy.
Yep.
So jealous. Firewood asks if you're an air traffic controller by job. No.
Nope.
No, Firewood, but he is a IRL pilot. Can't have Blue Yonder without a puppy cam. Where is Pup? Behind the chair?
So I had a blanket sitting on the couch there. When I turned on the camera, I'm like, oh crap, I should move that. And she is now currently lying on that blanket in the middle of the hallway. Just
so good.
Shouldn't have moved it. Yeah.
Let me ask this. Is Blue Yonder's audio lining up with his video? Blue Yonder's Let me watch. Audio lining up with his video. Say something, Blue Yonder. Let me watch. Say something, Blue Yonder.
Some claps to try and synchronize. Some claps to try and synchronize.
Yeah, that worked. Okay, good. Just making sure.
Ooh.
Good. Okay, cool. Good thing there wasn't a blanket on the couch. We would have thought you were a monster.
Hey, I don't sleep during work. Come on.
So, if you all want to load in and fly this with me, we are at Kilo Echo November Victor. Was that right? KENV?
Yeah, Kilo Echo November Victor.
However, if you are not on VATSIM, I won't see you, but you would see me, I believe. So let's pull up the charts for this location and where we're going. Let's get everything going. Let me do flight, new flight, manual input. So origin is KENV and destination SLC. What's an airport that's close by for alternate?
You only need alternate for VFR or IFR. Sorry.
Okay, so I don't need to do it. Okay. I'm just doing this so because you can't pin things unless you have an actual flight in Navigraph.
Yeah.
All right, so let's.
Comet Crazy asks if we're filing flight plan. We don't actually have to.
We
file
don't
a flight
have
plan.
to,
We
right?
can.
Yeah, we don't have to, but I mean, what's the best way? I know we don't have to, but should we?
It can't hurt.
I don't mind it
in the
because I
real
like
world?
them having info about me.
Exactly. In the real world, you probably would, unless you're like me and my friends who never file flight plans, ever. So.
Okay, so I've got that, and then I'm gonna pull up KSLC. Every VFR flight Comet Crazy says I've done. If I didn't, they asked me to. Interesting.
Interesting.
They asked you to.
I've never been asked when doing a VFR flight.
That's strange.
I guess if you're doing flight following, it makes more sense because it helps them figure out exactly what you're up to.
This landing at this airport is gonna fry my brain. If they start, like, if I don't know taxiways early enough, I mean, I guess we'll find out. Because also I'm looking at like parking gates, although that's more IFR. That's airlines. Usually don't have to deal with that. I guess it would be more a matter of knowing where general aviation typically is here, and it's over here on the right.
Yeah, that's gonna be the number one thing is figuring out exactly where you want to taxi to, and kind of have an idea of what runways they're using, which we can figure out from the ATIS. And from that, we should know approximately where we're gonna be taxiing.
Okay. What's up, Redbeard? Okay, so ATIS at Salt Lake City currently. Let's refresh. Let's just refresh. Look. Oh, approach is gone.
Oh, they just disappeared, eh?
Yeah, approach is gone. So we would have to kind of mock leave. That sucks.
Yeah, and we kind of want to do flight following, so we need somewhere that's got
That's lame.
the center.
That's tough because it takes me so long to get prepared. Well,
Okay. Well, let's figure out somewhere else. That
could
can do it
we?
then. That was it was such a perfect one too.
I mean,
We could fly into Phoenix.
Fly into Phoenix?
Yeah.
Okay.
Phoenix is a tower open. They've been running for an hour now. Center's been running for an hour.
Is that too long?
Albuquerque. Well, they generally only stay on for maybe an hour or around 2 hours, right? So.
Saxman says the best part of flying into Phoenix is that you then get to fly out of Phoenix. Okay, so how far did you say? Which one was an hour?
Well, so not from here, not from where we're
Not from where we
set
are
up,
now.
but
No, can't do it here.
we could do Phoenix. So
Yeah.
we just have to find another airport near Phoenix.
I mean, to me, the easiest way for me personally to find airports is through little nav map.
Well, I found one here, Payson, which is just north of Phoenix.
Let's see. Let me reset. Oh, come back. Okay. Payson, you said? North?
Yeah, so it's just slightly north of it. So KPAN.
Oh, KPAN. Let me do a measure distance from that one down to Phoenix. So that's 60 miles.
Yeah, which is, it's about
That's fine.
30-minute flight.
Yeah, it's a little short, but that's fine. Comic Crazy says you may want to fly out of a controlled one to an uncontrolled. Well, but I want to be able to talk to someone when I land. I want it to all be controlled. I guess that's just me being greedy, but I want to learn, and I don't feel like I'm going to learn if I don't talk to somebody. So if this one kind of fits that bill, we've got approach, and we do have tower, so it's probably the best for now.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
Yeah, and flying out of a controlled airport is really dead simple. So what we could do is fly into Phoenix, go and park, and then turn around and then fly out of it to somewhere else.
Sure, we could.
Still there.
That's true. Yeah, you could do 2 flights depending on the time. Okay, so let's do KPAN. Okay. This will be an easy departure, that's for sure. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and there's no taxiways here, so it's probably a reverse. If they want us to take off from runway 6, we'd have to do a reverse taxi on the runway, right?
Yeah, and generally because you're going to be taking off from effectively an uncontrolled airport, I believe that's, I think that's Class E airspace there. They're not going to be controlling it. They're just going to ask you for to report when airborne.
Okay. Okay. Let's join in that one. Comic Crazy says, hence why I did mention Pilot Edge, a paid service that guarantees both in and out of airports with live ATC, but only if you're serious. Yeah, no, I need time. Yeah, for me, Comic Crazy, I don't want to dive right into paying for something that I'm still learning, And I know we're going to have hiccups, but I think everybody that deals with VATSIM does. This is just a weird time of night. We're going to deal more with West Coast, but I think the more we do this, the more we'll have an idea of which approaches are typically open this time of night.
And once you learn the American system, it's really not that much different to learn ICAO and Canadian and Australian and stuff. They're not really that complicated.
So, we don't need to worry about, let me turn off this warning. We don't need to worry about airspace over KPAN, but we do need to plan for airspace over Salt Lake City.
Correct. Yes.
So I've pulled up the chart.
Over Phoenix, sorry.
Phoenix. Oh my gosh, yes. Phoenix. Same thing. Roads. Still Bravo.
We don't need roads.
So over Phoenix, it's under 9,000 feet. It looks like.
Yes. So we see Phoenix is, surface to 9,000 feet.
And we should, let's look at right now, ATIS for Phoenix says no wind, clear skies. So
that's completely VFR. Yeah.
Visual approach runway 25 left. It says simultaneous approaches are in use. Arrivals FM in, what does that mean? Oh, from north. Arrivals from north. expect
expect
visual approach runway 26. And that we would be coming from the north.
Yes.
So if we're runway 26, I don't know which one's which because I don't have the chart pulled up. Is it the top or bottom?
Let's see, 26. Yeah, it looks like the top one.
It's the top one. So it says I-10 stack is your visual reference, but we would have to call. I mean,
you're going to want to call quite a bit before that because if you're at the I-10
earlier.
stack, you're pretty much already in there.
Yeah, you're in. So
now, one of the things you'll see these arrows there. There's some big arrows. That's generally the transition routes.
You talk about these purple ones?
Yeah, they're kind of right next to the airport there. So
yes.
you'll see one just north of it. Which says Paistawa Peak. And those arrows. So that's generally the route that they have people kind of transition through there on.
Okay.
Doesn't necessarily mean. So when he said, so remember when Pilot Deviation last night said to fly over the numbers, you can see that those arrows go pretty much right over the numbers. That's how they want you to transition across there. So if you're just flying through there, we don't have to worry about that. We just have to call them, and we could probably call them at Camelback Mountain, for example. And that should give us enough time.
As long as I'm under 5,000 feet, we're okay.
Yes.
But once I get, you said maybe to Camelback Mountain, I then would request clearance to Bravo Airspace for landing at Phoenix.
Yeah. So you can call it Camelback or Paradise Valley Mall up there, a little bit further back.
Okay.
And,
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Now, the problem is I don't know where these are when I'm flying because this is just an image. I don't have an arrow moving.
Exactly. So this is the unfortunate thing with VFR flying is that we don't necessarily always have all the tools we want. So to make it nice and easy to see. Now I've got 4 flights, so I can kind of see.
Yeah, you can see. You'll probably have to kind of cue me in. Yeah. What's my end game with VATSIM? To learn it, Jado. It's just to learn it. And I know it's not group flights, but people that are watching might also be learning. The end game is I'm learning. Maybe people watching are learning. Yeah, I know it's not the same as what we've done, Jado. I'm just trying to learn it and have other people that also are interested also maybe learn it. Okay. So let's get some things going here. So we're gonna do Nav Beacon Taxi. KPAN is the code for departure, and I'm not going to see you until unless you're on VATSIM. So let me go on and open up vPilot. It's just a lot for me to think about, a lot to process. All right, so let me connect. November 1976, Cessna 172. And now, so we have Los Angeles Center. My goodness. Well, is that you?
Oh, maybe.
If that doesn't look weird.
Mode.
Dude, that's so strange.
No, I've been. Oh yeah, I did just connect. No, that's somebody else. Because I'm observer mode. That's someone else. Because they're on my screen too.
But they do say on VATSIM that if you load in on somebody else, you should respawn into a different location.
Yeah.
That's Redbox says that's him. Dude, this plane looks massive compared. Is that the 380? My little plane. Yeah, because now I've got his plane. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's look at our Los Angeles. Well, now, that's kind of weird that it says it's Los Angeles Center when it looks like on the map it's Albuquerque Center.
You should see Albuquerque Center there, too.
Is it both? Hold on.
Should be
Oh, I do now. It
127,
loaded.
85.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, it does now. Yeah, it loaded. Okay. So we'll have to say with the numbers because we don't have an ATIS here locally. So Albuquerque Center is 127.85.
Yep.
Radar contact, say altitude leaving.
And now we can hear them.
Walker 817, passing through 4000.
Walker 817, thank you. Climbing and maintain flight level
flight plan.
340.
So we're going to be going
Going to file 340, Walker 817.
KPAN. And destination is KPHX. Time en route, we'll say 40 minutes. 2 hours of fuel cruise speed, cruising altitude. What cruising? Should I do like 2,000 for cruise altitude?
Yeah, 2,000 feet should be all right. What's the field elevation here is the first question, because that might be way low.
Okay, hold on, let's look.
Pace.
Come back. Okay.
So 5,000 feet, 5,157 is the altitude here.
5,100?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, 551.57. Jeez. Okay. So then, when I do that, cruising altitude, I have to say 7,000.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. What's up, Boo Woo? I'm trying, Boo Woo. I'm trying to learn it. Might want to add it into your rotation. No, you're right. You're right, Jado. It is going to be that. That's the plan, Jado. Ultimately, that's the plan, to have streams where we do VATSIM. Not everything's going to be a VATSIM flight. Certainly not. But the goal right now is to learn it, just like we did airliners with 320s. And, you know, there were times where we learned VOR stuff. And, you know, let's learn the CRJ 700 or whatever. But right now, it's going to be a lot of this, so I can learn it. And then that way, when we do it a couple of times a week, I haven't forgotten it. You know, Boo says I've been on the network for about a year now. This is bringing back a lot of memories. Oh my gosh. So the route, we would do.
So what you would do is you just have your source, or the departure airport of KPAN, your K Phoenix, and then in your route you just type direct.
So KPAN, K Phoenix, direct.
Yep. So you just type direct. You don't have to type anything else.
Oh, okay.
So you don't have to type the departure or
they already
the
know.
destination airport.
Because you already see it on the left. Okay.
Exactly.
Cactus 480, you parking on the north side or the south side at Phoenix?
And Aviator is right. Don't forget to add 500.
On the north side, Cactus 480.
VFR ends at 500.
Expect the
So we
visual
have 7,500.
It's
It's a good point. Thank you.
Expect the visual 26 Cactus 480.
Okay, so we're going to file flight plan. And it says flight plan filed here. Unhandled exception has occurred. The application will ignore this error. Does that happen a lot?
Just hit continue.
Yeah.
See if it'll continue running.
Looks
it
like
might
it's okay.
quit.
It might quit. If so, we'll have to reload it. So far, it's okay. Okay.
Yeah, looks like it's all right.
So I put it on mode C.
Albuquerque, hello, Big Strike 407, flight level 270.
Blue Stripe 407 Albuquerque Center, hello.
Okay, so Albuquerque Center, and then let me pull up. Let me do this. So new flight, manual input. Obviously, we're going to get to the point where we're going to have this we're going to have this planned earlier, so I don't risk losing approach because we take too long. But live and learn. So airport info, this is this airport. And then pin it. It won't let me pin. It won't let me pin. And then K Phoenix. This is
Although Starflies tends to do fairly well, and she sits there for like 2.5 hours looking at ForeFlight.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so airport info for Phoenix. And then as we look here, they did say, if we look at, let me pull this up so you can see it. If I go here, for Phoenix, it says, from the north, expect visual approach runway 26. Most likely, right? 26. So...
Oh, did they just go offline too?
What? What happened?
Their tower just went offline.
Oh, no. Phoenix did?
It did, but you can still get clearance from... Because it's the inverted...
yeah, you can still get clearance from Albuquerque Center.
Yeah, so let's just hope he doesn't disappear on us.
Jeez. Okay. Okay. So anyway, was it an... Oh, runway 26 is what it says from the north, but when I clicked on this... Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so from 26 here. So when they ask me where I want to go, I guess I could request the northwest ramp. That'd be probably the easiest. Okay. I'm just trying to have a little bit of a game plan, because if I do it while I'm flying, I get confused easy.
Yeah.
All right.
407, descend via the Bruiser 1 arrival, Phoenix landing west, altimeter is 2997.
Roger, 2997, descend via the Bruiser 1, landing west, Big Stripe 407.
Redbox, I'm trying to stay away from LA. I know Redbox really wants me to do LA.
We'll probably do LA next week, because I think you'll be ready for it by then.
We hope. Okay. So let's do a radio check. Also on September pre-key in Phoenix radio frequency. Well, I would, but now I don't have to, because it's all because they've left. Albuquerque Center is the same person. He's been going for an hour and 24 minutes, and I bet he'll be gone by the time we land. But that's okay. We've already committed. So I don't need to put in anything else because there's no other person to talk to as of right now. Are you listening to Center for shits? This airport isn't controlled, so you would take off. Well, I'm requesting a flight following Redbox.
Yep.
So that's why I need to talk to them. Albuquerque Center,
right,
November 1976, radio check.
So the aircraft calling Albuquerque Center, say again.
Did he say it? I couldn't tell what he said.
He just said say again, so he wants you to repeat your request.
Albuquerque Center, November 1976, radio check.
November 1976, Albuquerque Center, loud and clear.
Very good.
So we're going to say Albuquerque Center, Skyhawk, 1976, requesting VFR departure to Phoenix, requesting flight following.
Yeah, you also want to say where you are. So you'd say Albuquerque Center. This is Skyhawk, November 1976, up here at Payson. So Kilo Papa Alpha November.
Bravo Charlie 292 radio check.
Probably crazy.
Love it.
Requesting
The aircraft calling Albuquerque Center. I think it was Bravo Charlie 292, loud and clear.
Okay, go ahead.
So looking for to pick up my VFR flight plan down to Phoenix and requesting flight following.
Okay.
Dave has a dog.
What's up, Dave?
But the dog doesn't have a name.
So far, I am Dave.
Dave.
I still need time.
Dave's dog Dave.
Okay. So here we go. Let's see if we do this. Albuquerque Center, November 1976, at Kilo Papa Alpha November, requesting VFR departure to Phoenix with a flight following.
Right, a couple of ones there. Southwest 51 Albuquerque Center, hello, Squawk 0704.
Squawk 0704, November 1976.
No, 1976 negative. Double check the call signs. I said Southwest 51. The squawk 0704 is for.
November 1976, affirmative. I couldn't tell what he said. I thought he was talking to me.
Yeah, I've misheard so many different radio calls. It happens to everybody.
Okay, November 1976. Sorry, you said you wanted VFR flight following to Phoenix from Payson.
November 1976, affirmative.
Okay, I can't give you that off the ground because Payson's uncontrolled. So change to advisory. You can call me airborne if you want to pick up a flight following then.
November 1976. Thank you. So he just wants us to call him in the air.
Yeah, exactly. Now, some places, so Redbox, right? Some places will only let you do flight following once you're off the ground. Other places will let you pick it up right on the ground.
So it's just a roll of the dice. You just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's generally easier if you try it on the ground first, but sometimes they're call in the air.
So there's nothing lost in trying.
Exactly, nothing lost in trying.
Okay, so we're just gonna take off and head that way, and then request it once we're up in the air.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Cactus 480, the Phoenix Airport's at your 9 to 10 o'clock now, range 6 miles, reported in sight.
Airport in sight, Cactus 480.
Cactus 480, clear visual approach runway 26.
There we go.
Clear visual 26, Cactus 480.
So, since we can kind of choose our own runway, I'm going to go left, and because we're heading south. Go ahead, sorry.
So now,
Southwest 51, radar contact
as we
40
do,
miles
because it's
north,
completely
east of
uncontrolled,
Fort Stockton,
is we
BOR
want to
flight
switch over to
level
122.8 and tell people where we are, but you don't generally have to. It's uncontrolled airports they're completely, you can be Nordo, so no radio, so you don't have to.
I'm still gonna do it. I've already switched to Unicom, and I'll do it just to practice, right?
Yep.
Okay, who is that? Is that Comet Crazy? Comet Crazy, is that you?
I can see you all because I'm in observer mode, but you can't see me.
Oh, that's cool. So you can be in observer mode and not actually take part. KPAN has never been this busy.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Right now, I don't mind making mistakes. Because I've never done it before. And, you know, the more we do this, the more I'll understand not to take it personal that contact me in the air, don't contact me on the ground. Okay. But that's not going to stop me from doing it again next time, I guess.
Yeah.
Because we're going to hope maybe it'll work. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. We just do it in the air.
Yep.
There is a lot of planning involved. The problem is, by the time the stream goes live, I typically don't know what areas are going to be controlled. Now, the more we do this, the more we'll probably know, but I mean, it's almost 12:30. It is 12:30, and you know, you just don't know who's going to be on. So it's not like I can just do a flight plan earlier in the day, because that could go to crap when we actually try to do it and everybody's offline. Thanks, Boo Woo. So Tweak says, is observer mode helpful if I were to jump in and just watch people and learn comms?
Yeah, absolutely. Effectively, you do have to be in the game. You do have to be at a location. But then when you click connect, you just click observer mode.
Well, and that's because you have to be in the sim, because it will know where you are to pick up those frequencies that are close.
Exactly.
Right? Because you can't. It's just not going to find any old frequency. You have to be there. But if I'm going to Phoenix and there was like ground and tower, he wouldn't hear that, or would he? I guess you. I don't know if it would.
Yeah,
be
in a observer mode, they don't tend to do the. As far as I can tell, they don't do where you can't hear other people. Whereas, actually, I think they do. So part of the problem too is you might not be hearing other people that he's talking to, because those other people that he's talking to are outside of the range.
Yeah, they're too far away. Right.
Exactly.
What's it all for says, isn't broadcasting in the blind on Unicom best practice? Yes, and that's why I'm going to do it. What's it all for? I'm going to, when we get to the runway, I'm going to say what I'm going to do instead of ask, right? Is that correct, or do I still ask?
You say what you're going to do.
You say what you're going to do. You don't expect a response.
Yep, exactly. So you want to tell people before you enter the runway. So you'll say Payton area traffic. This is Foxtrot 1976 taking off runway whatever runway you're taking off for southbound departure towards Phoenix.
Okay. So you would say Payton area traffic.
Yep.
Okay. Now, is it also helpful that I'm saying these things for the other traffic that might be at this airport, so they know what's going on as well?
Yeah, that's exclusively the reason for it. So they have to know what you're doing. There's times where someone will come in, not be talking on the radio, and you might get into an accident with them.
Can you explain what these taxi lines mean? Do these mean I should not go in from that direction? You can only come out. Is that right, or no?
No, it's just a hold short point. So don't cross that line until you've made a radio call.
Okay. But I would have been able to enter the runway from there if I wanted.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody's taking off or landing, you're not supposed to cross that. And because you can technically be Nordo, you can just boogie across there as long as you've made sure things are okay. But because we have a radio, we want to talk to people before we do that.
Tweak says, did you do your run-up? I don't know what a run-up is. What's a run-up?
That was actually something I was a little worried they might ask, because last night, or was it 2 nights ago they asked?
They asked. Minneapolis asked. And I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
We hadn't talked about it.
So run-up is something you don't have to worry about in the sim because the airplane's never going to brake on you. But for us, when we're flying in the real world, we have to do a run-up on takeoff. So what we do is we'll find a nice place that's not going to be blowing our prop wash into something or some cars or property or anything like that. And then we set up a high throttle setting and then check all of our engine lights and stuff. So we're making sure everything's good. We flick on and off the magnetos to make sure the magnetos are all operating correctly. We vary the prop pitch to make sure that that's operating correctly. And then eventually, once we've gone through our whole checklist, which is on my plane, it's 6 or 7 different things, then we're ready to go.
So, Redbox says when A2A airplanes are out, he will. What's the difference? Why would an A2A airplane make the difference? I don't know what that is.
I don't know what an A2A airplane
I don't either.
is.
So, Gumbo says you can do it now here. So you're saying I would put my parking brake on or no?
Yep, put your parking brake on.
Rev it?
And set your RPM to 1800 RPM.
Okay. Too much. Come back.
And different planes have different POHs, but 1800 seems to be a pretty good number for
There's
most
1800.
planes. All right, now you want to turn off your left magneto. And you'll notice should be less than 100 RPM drop.
So I'm going to flip it to where it's just the R?
Yep.
So it went to 1650.
Perfect. That's fine. So generally 150 RPM difference is the most you'll find acceptable. So that's fine. It's a simulated airplane, so it's not going to have a problem. And then you turn it back to both,
okay,
and then switch it all the way over again to so it's only left. So you're only running left.
So just left only.
Yep. So the RPM drops, boo-woo. It drops because each magneto controls one of the spark plugs, and there's 2 spark plugs in an aircraft engine, which means it's not burning all the fuel. So it ends up not producing as much power.
So when I was both, it goes up to 18.
Perfect.
But both right and left dropped about 150.
Perfect.
Okay.
It's more important that they're both about the same RPM when it's only on one of them. So about 150 RPM is generally kind of what you expect to see. So
Okay.
that's good. So we're halfway there.
Okay.
On one of these, then the other thing we want to do is bring back the mixture until it starts sputtering,
Okay.
and then put the mixture back in.
And what are we looking for when it starts sputtering?
You'll notice the RPM start dropping, but you want to catch it before the
Sure.
RPM kicks out completely.
Okay, I'm dropping now. There it goes.
Yeah. So RPM increasing, and then as soon as it starts to drop back down, you'll feel it start sputtering, and then pull forward. So catch it all the way forward. There you go.
Okay.
It's delayed on my screen there, so I can't really.
Brace yourself says, don't forget to test the subwoofer. My goodness.
That's behind me. She barks a lot.
Okay, next.
Cool. All right, and this plane doesn't have a constant speed prop, for instance. So what you'd want to do is now bring back your throttle all the way to idle.
Okay.
And make sure the engine's still running. And in this case, we've been going back to idle anyways, so it's not much of an issue.
It is running 660.
Yep. Perfect. And then normally when we're taxiing around in an airplane, we're usually targeting for about 1,000 RPM. Depending on the plane, most of it's about 1,000 RPM when you're taxiing around instead of a lower RPM setting. So, but in this case, okay, you're good to go. Run up is complete.
Well, one thing I did not do was my altimeter. So I'm going to do that right now.
And that's not part of the run up is generally just about checking your engine.
No, I know. I'm just saying I should have done this at the ramp.
Yeah.
I should have done this a while ago. So it's 30.15, and that should get us around that 5,150 feet. Sorry, hold on. There we go, KPAN. Elevation 5157. So when I did that, pretty close. It was like 5145. It's a little off, but I'll leave it. Actually, I mean, I don't know. What should I do?
I would just leave it. That's 5150. That's fine. Generally, when you're flying, you can't really tell the difference between 100 feet.
Okay.
And the standard for a non-sensitive altimeter is something like 500 feet. As long as it's within 500 feet, you're okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're about ready.
All right. Ready for takeoff.
Just making sure. Yeah. Haven't left us yet. Okay. All right. Oh, so I would contact here. I would say Payson area approach November 1976. VFR departure for Phoenix.
Well, you do Payton area traffic. This is Skyhawk Foxtrot 1976. Taking off runway 06.
Okay, so
for
you're
a
just saying,
VFR to
okay.
to Phoenix.
Yeah, I should have done that. Okay, got it. All right, so we're on Unicom right now, 122.8. You can see that here. And here we go. So, Payson area traffic, Skyhawk, November 1976, departing runway 06 for VFR to Phoenix. Saying that too slow. I'm talking too slow.
That's perfectly fine. It's better to be understood than quick.
That's true.
Okay, and you're good to take off. So now that you've said you're taking off, take off immediately.
I'm going. Just did my lights, landing lights and strobe, and we're going. Gumbo says, don't forget to check for traffic on final.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
There might be Nordo traffic coming in at any time.
Might be what?
It might be Nordo traffic, so traffic without a radio.
Okay. Yes, Boo Woo. Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So once you get a few hundred feet and are nice and stable, have your plane all cleaned up,
Yep.
then
then
it's
go
time
on.
to switch over.
Switch our frequencies and contact again, right?
Exactly.
1,000, was it after making, after reaching 5,000, turn right 180?
So in this case, you want to tell them
3407
you're
affirmative.
just outside of.
Alright, roger,
just
after
south
reaching
of Payson,
5,000, turn right heading
just
180, big strike
Hold on a
407.
second.
at your altitude.
Sorry, it's his voice is so much louder than yours, and I don't know how to change that. Say it one more time.
I'm going to switch over here as well so I can hear him.
Sky is
Okay.
53, the Albuquerque wind 08014,
so
runway 8.
What you're going to
clear
do
for
is say
takeoff.
that you're Foxtrot 1976. So Albuquerque Center, Foxtrot 1976
Yep.
is just outside of Payson. Look for VFR flight following into Phoenix.
Okay. Albuquerque Center, November 1976. 6,000 feet just outside of Kilo Papa Alpha November, requesting flight following to Phoenix for VFR.
November 1976, Albuquerque Center, roger. Maintain VFR, squawk 0736.
Squawk 0736, November 1976. Okay, so I'm going to go on and do that now. So we'll do transponder, then click code 0736. Okay, we have it.
Perfect.
Cool. And then now I'm going to adjust this range. Oh, come back. It's so hard to do this. Oh my gosh. I can't get it. No.
Bridge 407, make that right turn to a turn of 230 now.
And you can actually see that
Right turn 230 on
airspace.
the heading for big strike 407.
You can see the Bravo airspace there.
Exactly. Makes it really easy.
Okay, so I'm gonna do let's do, and then we're heading right now 188. We're gonna do no, don't you freak out on me.
November 1976, radar contact 3 miles south of the Payson Airport. Altitude indicates 6,500. The Phoenix altimeter is 299.7.
November 1976, say again.
November 1976, your radar contact 3.5 miles south of the Payson Airport. Your altitude indicates 6,600 feet. And the Phoenix altimeter 299.7.
November 1976, thank you, affirmative. Is that right?
Big strike 407, we have the airport inside now at about our 1 o'clock.
There you go.
He's just telling me where I am.
4,000, clear visual approach, runway 25 left.
Effectively, when he's doing
4,000,
that,
clear visual 25
he's
left
asking
for
you to
big strike
confirm
407.
that information. So
I just say confirmed?
Exactly.
Sky
And
West 53,
you're
radar
fine by
contact,
just saying
say
that,
altitude
so
leaving.
you're good to go.
Tweaks
Sky
says confirm
53,
you have
thank you, climb and maintain
2997
flight level
though.
320.
Yeah, you don't have to tell him that information. That's for your information.
Yeah, I didn't think I had to confirm. I don't need I don't have to give information back. I only need to give instructions. And he didn't give me instructions.
Exactly. He's just making sure that his gear is actually appropriately
information.
picking up your location and altitude. And when you say you've confirmed that, then he knows that. Otherwise, if you say that's not you, he might ask you to ident or make sure you're squawking Charlie.
Okay. Yeah, a Plato. That's what I thought. I don't need to
Walk
give
1796, contact
altimeter.
Los Angeles Center 135.55. We'll see you.
Crap, I didn't miss that.
3555 for Walker 1796. Have a good night.
Oh, 1796. His number's so close to mine. I heard something. I was like, oh, we're not ready for it. We gotta, get some more speed here. Okay.
And make sure your flaps are up and whatnot. Just make sure
They are,
clean.
they're up. We're good.
Now, one of the things too is you're climbing altitude in a naturally aspirated small engine.
So I need to do mixture.
An airplane. Exactly. Bring your mixture back a bit, and you'll start picking up a little bit of extra power.
Yeah, there it goes. Getting some more RPMs. Still getting more. Just watching my RPMs at the top. There it goes. That's the limit. Okay.
Big Stripe, correction. Big Stripe 407. The Phoenix winds calm, runway 25 left. Clear to
Yeah,
land.
Shawnee's right. Similar call signs on the
clear
same
to land.
frequency.
Big Stripe 407.
Be rough. 1796. John says that's your birth year, right? Yes. Yes, John. Thank you. So, I'm climbing for 8,500 feet because they said that was minimums. That was probably the safest. But I'd like to be able to see Phoenix on the map, so I get the direction right, because I don't think I'm necessarily heading the correct direction.
It's right square in the center there, so
Okay.
it's going to be kind of hard to miss.
Okay.
And especially when you call, they're going to tell you they're either going to vector you, or they're just going to tell you to enter the pattern the same way we did the other night, where they'll tell you to enter downwind left or enter for base for a certain runway.
Okay.
Time for a little drinking.
Thank you, John. Cheers indeed, Boo Woo.
It is St. Patrick's Day, isn't it?
No, wasn't that yesterday? I always thought
Steve
St.
was
Patrick's Day
celebrating
was it the 17th? So that was today, earlier today. MSFSF says IRL, if you have to repeat what ATC told you to ensure pilot understood instruction. Only if it's an instruction. Correct. Not if it's information. Information's different. I don't need to let them know my altitude or my altimeter unless they're telling me go to a certain altitude. They don't need. I don't need to tell them what the wind direction is if they told me what the wind direction is. That's funny, Jado. Thanks, Comic Crazy. I am trying to enjoy the view.
Now it's just a matter of listening to the radio, listening to what other people are doing, and just kind of build a mental model for yourself of what other planes are doing, so that when you actually get into the airspace, you have a kind of idea of who might be doing what.
Okay. Well, and we can see now where Phoenix is. As we get closer, we'll probably see other planes.
Albuquerque Center, November 321.
That's quiet. Thanks, Pete.
Yeah, he's probably out of range for you.
8,500.
Is that what it is? He's quiet because he's out of range?
Exactly.
Really?
321 Mike Juliet, Albuquerque Center.
That's very realistic.
Walk 0762.
That's
Walk
crazy.
0762, November 321 Mike Juliet.
So, let's unpin. Well, it's not pinned, I guess. Let me pull up Phoenix. And we did say we'd most likely get runway 26, so we're just going to be prepared for that. ATIS, let's see if that's changed with ATIS yet. I'll show you this. This is what I'm looking at.
Walker 817, contact Los Angeles Center 135.55. We'll see ya.
13555, Walker 817, see you.
So expect visual approach runway 26 coming from the north. That's good to know. Bird activity in view of airport.
November 321 Mike Juliet. Radar contact position as reported. The Phoenix altimeter 299.7.
So there's me. I'm at 8,000 feet right now. There is... That might be Comet Crazy. 321 MJ, I think it is. And then BC 292.
321 Mike Juliet. Radar contact position as
that
reported.
Might be Redbox.
Altimeter 299.7.
Altimeter 299.7. Number 321 Mike Juliet.
Okay. And then I should still be
And Albuquerque Center, Big Strike 407. We're going to Cutter. It looks like it's right in front of us.
Big Strike 407. Yeah, welcome to Phoenix Hotel to parking this frequency. We'll see you next time.
Hotel to parking, Big Strike 407. See ya. Thanks for the ATC.
Bravo Charlie 292. I'll have your Bravo clearance when you're ready for it.
Are those IRL METAR typed out or from VATSIM?
292, ready to copy.
Bravo Charlie 292 cleared into Phoenix class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 7,000 while in the Bravo. Altimeter 299.7.
I should be listening to that.
Maintain at or below 7,000. 299.7 altimeter 292.
But he gave the altimeter.
Bravo Charlie 292. Did you verify cleared into the Phoenix class Bravo airspace?
So he just
cleared into the Phoenix class airspace 292.
Bravo Charlie 292, correct.
So he just got clearance to get into that airspace. And I'm getting close.
Yeah, what's your altitude there? You're 8,500.
Uh-huh.
So you'll notice that if you look on the sky vector stuff, pretty much everything in that's blue is going to be...
Good evening, Frontier Flight 712, Mike on board, request IFR to McCarran.
So at 8,500...
Frontier Flight 712.
Yeah. He'll tell me to get underneath 7,000.
Yeah. Or he'll tell you exactly what you need to do.
Okay.
So he might tell you to descend. He might tell you to turn around it. He might tell you to do all kinds of different
And I just need to be able to repeat that. Now, Comet Crazy was repeating altimeter, I believe, right?
Yep. You don't have to. That's for your information.
Okay. He probably did because he's descending into terrain to confirm again. Sometimes I do
Flight
that
712 cleared to the Las Vegas International Airport via the Zephyr 2 departure. Rasta.
Bittersweet, that sucks.
Filed, climb via the SID. Squawk 0747.
Look how pretty.
We're cleared to Las Vegas, Zephyr 2, Rasta Dennis file, climb by SID, Squawk 0747, Frontier Flight 712.
Frontier Flight 712,
Right, so let's check
correct.
on your G1000.
November 321 Mike Juliet cleared into Phoenix Clash Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 7,000 while in the Bravo.
Cleared into the Bravo airspace.
Hold on. What's that now?
So you're getting pretty close.
Yeah, 321 Mike Juliet, readback correct. November 1976 cleared into Phoenix Clash Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 7,000.
That was me, right? He said November 1976.
Yep. If you didn't hear him, you can just say again.
November 1976. Say again.
November 1976 cleared into Phoenix Class Bravo airspace. Maintain VFR at or below 7,000.
November 1976 cleared into Phoenix airspace, Class Bravo. Maintain under 7,000 feet.
November 1976, correct.
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm
Right
so nervous. Okay, so
All right,
I've gotten my clearance.
Yep.
So now I need to start descending.
Yeah.
That's nerve-wracking. Because I can't think. I'm like, okay, he just like I hear the first. I've said this before. I hear the first two things, and then when you add that third. Oh, what's up, Psychotic? Saw you earlier tonight. Checked in a little earlier. Thanks for the raid, Psychotic. How are you? Almeidas Perezosos. I'm saying that wrong, and I'm so sorry. Good evening. How are you all doing? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, I did check you out a little bit, Psychotic. I was checking out your setup, too. I was looking how your yoke and your Bravo were a little bit more separated than mine. And you've got a tablet between the two. And I That's good. Can we find the other planes? Do we see them? So we will. Look, there's 2 right now on screen that are flying with us, and as we get close, I'm going to drop. I went off that red line. As we get closer, we will be looking for them in view as well, especially if there's a problem for landing. Like if we're too close to them for landing, we'll have to spot them. Erock says, I have the same problem. 2 things is fine, 3 not so much. Amanda, thank you for the follow. Did you RMB to turn on PFD? Oh, I can do wind option. I usually do wind option 3. Seven knot, 8 knot. Yeah, I'll stick with this one. Option 2. I guess it's pretty much the same.
Yeah.
But
yeah, 2 and 3 is pretty much the same. The only 2 I use is option 1 or option 3, because option 1 will give you your full crosswind component, which is otherwise it's a pain to calculate that.
Option 1 gives your full crosswind component.
Yeah, so when you're landing, you might have a mostly headwind, but partly a crosswind. So right now you've got a 5 knot crosswind, which that's the most important part when landing.
I see. So with this, it looks like it's a 6 knot kind of crosswind. But when you do this, it's really a 5 knot crosswind and a 4 knot headwind.
Exactly.
I like that too.
Yep.
Welcome, Psychotic. Welcome. Never 3 for Boo Woo.
You're learning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're perfectly working plane,
What do
Shawnee.
you mean you're learning?
You can bail out of your perfectly working plane. Now this is really
You only
pretty.
do that if you have fire extinguishers attached to your legs.
Yeah. Yeah. But see, then Joshua A. Casey says always 3. See? I mean, and I've heard people say only 3. And then Boo Woo's like, never 3.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I'm flying cross country, I'll do 3, but if you're setting up for landing, option 1's a pretty good option.
Yeah, I'm kind of liking knowing right now it's just a 3 knot headwind with a little bit of a crosswind. So I'm more interested in the headwind for now.
Yep.
Did you set your bracket on fire? No, Redbeard. I already put on Discord that I'm not going to deal with the trolling tonight because I already had like 8 people message me. You're no one new right now. Trust me. In fact, Redbeard, I didn't do a bracket this year. It's the very first time I didn't do a bracket since I was in middle school. I was not nearly as invested this year. So I didn't do one, and I'm glad I didn't. Yeah, no, I know a lot of people are wanting to hit me with it and blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I really don't. I didn't even watch the game. I was at band practice tonight. I had people messaging me, and I was immediately deleting. I just didn't care. That's right, John. Yeah, the thing is that I don't play for the team. So there was literally nothing I could do about it.
What, you didn't wear your lucky jersey?
No.
I'm sure that's exactly what
My
did it.
lucky jersey. And I love it when people put on, like, the full uniform.
The lucky jersey that they haven't washed in 5 years, because if they wash it, it's not lucky anymore.
So, Joshua A. Casey says, I notice your PFD says VOR 1. Are you navigating via VOR as your autopilot is holding a specific heading? I'm doing a heading, Joshua A. Casey. I'm just on heading mode because I don't have an actual flight for autopilot right now. So I'm only using autopilot to maintain my altitude and heading. And I'm using the VOR line to visualize it. That's all, nothing more.
And especially when you're flying in controlled airspace, chances are they're going to be vectoring you around, so heading mode is almost always the best.
So do you anticipate I will be vectored in?
Yeah, at some point they're either going to vector you or just clear you to like the right base for the runway.
Okay, clear right base for the runway, so we would end up coming down and turning. If we were right base, Is that turning right into the runway?
Yeah, so so you have final, and then right before that you have base.
Right. Base is the crosswind version. But right before final.
Crosswind is when you're taking off, but yeah, base is coming in.
So I'm allowed to be anywhere underneath 7,000 feet. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Because I'm going to go on and descend a little bit. I'm going to go on and descend just a little bit. Am I basically going to wait for him to continue contact?
321 Mike Juliet, traffic 12 o'clock, 5 miles of Skyhawk at 7,000, same direction.
That's kind of crazy.
We'll look for traffic over 321 Mike Juliet.
Oh, I thought it was kind of crazy.
Charlie 292, descend and maintain VFR at 4,000.
So is he going to continue giving me altitudes to go to?
Yes.
Because of the airspace?
Yeah, because of the airspace.
Descend and maintain at 4,000, 292.
I love this. I'm telling you. Misty came in the other night. Misty was like, don't do it. This is not fun. Don't let them take the fun out of this. But
it's very rewarding when you start getting it right.
But here's the thing. I have a problem with people trying to tell other people what fun is. Like I have students that will say, well, I don't want to do it because it's not fun. And I'll say, okay, well, what's your definition of fun? And we have to talk about what fun is. Fun is different from person to person. Fun could be flying through the Grand Canyon. Fun could be this. You know? Boo says, how would you navigate if there's no flight following?
Well, flight following doesn't help you navigate.
Yeah, flight following, Boo is just air traffic control knows where we are, and it would most likely be used if we were out in the middle of nowhere and we wanted to make sure that we didn't disappear from radar contact. You know? Am I saying that right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly. They're just making sure that they know exactly where you are, and they'll give you a certain heads up. Like if there's a TFR or something in your vicinity, they'll tell you don't go here. But they're not telling you where to go. They're just inform you of any useful information and making sure that you don't crash.
We should, you know what? We should make a drinking game. I'm instituting this now. Blue Yonder. Every time Bryce asks when they're going to fix the CTDs for Xbox and PC,
Bravo Charlie 292, the
take a
fields
drink.
At your
Cheers, everyone.
At a range of 9 miles, reported in sight.
That's your new drinking game.
That's an affirm visual on the airport.
God bless you, Bryce.
292.
Bravo Charlie 292, enter a right base, runway 25 left.
John says, but I have to work tomorrow.
Right base 25 left, 292.
You hear that?
321 Mike Juliet, maintain VFR at 4,000, fly present heading, vectors for the airport.
I think they told Comet Crazy 25 left, which was different, and he said right base.
Maintain present heading.
25 left, if they chose that. 25 left would have been coming down here and then turning right down into 25 left. Okay, and then if that were the case... So this is where you got to listen to other people. This is the beauty of people like Comet Crazy being ahead of me. I kind of get a little bit of a cheater. I'm good with that, Comet Crazy. Take the brunt for me. So if I said, request general aviation parking,
flight 712 Vfr Taxi.
He might say which FBO?
Frontier flight 712, runway 25 right, taxi via Delta Sierra Echo.
That's right, Boo Woo. You get the read. Like watching somebody line up for a putt.
Echo 712.
See how the ball rolls on the green.
Yeah, I would just ask for like the West FBO or the Swift FBO, which is down there, and they'll get you right down there, especially if you're landing down there.
Yeah.
Less taxi.
Okay. Raven, are you excited about flying into Phoenix? This is fun.
Yeah, 321 Mike Juliet. The airport's your 1 to 2 o'clock at a range of about 8 miles. Report it in sight.
So I just asked him to report the airport in sight.
I have the field in sight, number 321.
I have the field
321 Mike Juliet. Make straight in, runway 25 left. You're following a Skyhawk on a 4 mile right base.
Straight in following Skyhawk, runway 25, right. Number 321 Juliet.
Okay. I'm trying to listen to what they're saying. Once gave you a progressive. What's a progressive, boo-woo?
Bravo Charlie 292, the Phoenix winds calm, runway 25 left,
So
clear to land.
progressive taxi is they'll tell you to take one taxiway or take a left here, take a right there.
25 left,
Like
clear to
one at a
land. Thank
time.
you, sir.
Yep.
Pete says, what an absolute legend for that one. Yeah, you don't have to remember 4 or 5 different taxiways. Okay. You can say you're unfamiliar with the airport and you're requesting progressive taxi. That's interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
They might get a bit annoyed at it depending
Sure.
on
Who
the
it is,
workload,
how
but,
busy they are, yeah.
Yeah. It's better than you getting lost and taxiing into a runway.
Okay, good to know. More stuff we're learning. It's like ATC is your own voice navigation. Turn left in 400 feet. Okay, so let's see here. Looking here, let me zoom in a little bit more. So we are getting ready to cross this line. Now I want to pull this line up real quick.
Bravo Charlie 292, looks like you lined up for 25 right, just verify it's 25 left.
Ooh, wrong runway.
A firm, 25 left.
Bravo Charlie 292, thanks.
Hard to tell, but it looks like I'm maybe around here, which means if that's the case, they might have to tell me to drop to another...
Frontier flight 712, runway 25 right, land up and wait, traffic short, final for 25 left.
I'm just going to go on a
Line up
descend.
point 25 right, Frontier flight 712.
It's probably in my best interest to descend.
Yeah, start descending because he said at or below 7,000. Right?
Yeah, and I was at 6.
Number 1976, descend and maintain VFR at 4,000.
Descend and maintain VFR at or below 4,000, November 1976.
1976, that's at 4,000.
Correction, at 400 or 4,000, November 1976. At 4,000. Boy, not at or below. At.
Yep.
Yep. Got it. You got it. This is it. Got to do this. It's okay.
Definitely don't want 400
He didn't yell
feet.
at.
That'd
He
be
didn't
too
yell
much.
at me.
Number 1976, from your present position, route direct to the airport and call it in sight.
Was he talking to me?
Yep. He.
We'll let you know when we have the airport in sight, November 1976.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
So when they talk fast, I'm not ready to talk that fast. It's like, it's funny. I took 4
Number
years.
321 Mike Juliet.
That's kind of crazy. I took 4
A320
years.
departing the parallel, caution
Hold
wake
on.
turbulence, runway 25 left,
Ooh.
clear to land.
Wake turbulence. I took 4 years of French.
Caution wake turbulence on Paleron.
When people talk
Clear to land.
French to me, I can't
Clear to land
understand
on
a word.
25 right, correct.
Because they talk too fast.
Negative 25 left, runway 25 left.
25 left, clear to land, November 321 Lake Juliet.
Bravo Charlie
I had to take-
292, vacate left when able, hotel to parking.
I had to take 6
Left when able, hotel to parking,
none of it.
292. Thank you.
Frontier flight 71.
Thank you, MSFS.
2,
Magellan's right, it is
runway
stressful
25
AF.
right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff runway 25 right, Frontier flight 712.
I loved my French class. There were 7 of us when I was a senior in high school, and we'd all been through the same French class for 4 years in a row. We were like the survivors at the end of 4 years. You just like November calls, Pete says. What's funny that you say that, because the first VATSIM flight we did, the controller told me at the end, he sent me a message and says, I recommend using November. Something more common, because I was using Foxtrot Lima for Fliggity. But then you're right, Pete. You could say Skyhawk 1976.
Yeah, you can more in America. You can more or less call yourself whatever you want.
You're one
Everywhere else in the world, you
butthorn.
have to use your tail numbers or your flight number.
What's up, Matt Bees? I'm looking for this airport, and I do not have it in sight unless that is it. Is that? That's not it, is it?
Let's see if I can see it on my screen.
Frontier flight 712, radar contact, say altitude leaving.
We're leaving 2.8 for French Flight 712.
What's up, Matt Bees? How are you doing?
Thank you. Climb and maintain flight level 280.
Cessna
280, 712.
Okay. I'm
At
thinking
1976, just verify you're direct to the airport now.
November 1976. Yes, airport is in sight.
Oh, 1976, make straight in runway 25 left.
Straight in runway 25 left, November 1976.
Okay, from your track it doesn't look like you're direct to the airport. It looks like you're direct for like a 10-mile file. If you're, I mean, it's in any time, but it's particularly in Class Bravo airspace because it's so tightly controlled. Even if you're VFR, if you're given a heading or a direct, you have to follow that unless you're unable. Okay, so if you're given direct to the airport, you need to put the airport on the nose.
I understand. Thank you, November 1976. He's
just turn directly to it.
So I have to turn to it?
Yep, directly to it.
So, I mean, that is right there, right? That's it.
Yes, exactly.
And so I have to go direct towards it.
Yep.
So, but the runway is not that angle.
Yeah, because you're such a small airplane, it's actually fairly easy to make that.
November 321 Mike Juliet, welcome to Phoenix, left to enable, hotel to parking.
Okay.
Left to enable, hotel to parking. November 321 Mike Juliet.
I can't.
Skies 53, descend by the Eagle 6 arrival.
Hey, somebody told me this is the pilot's lounge.
Hey, what's up, Comic Crazy?
I descend via the Eagle 6 landing west.
I had to put the keys, throw the keys back.
I don't understand why I can't make that. Maybe it's just not loading it in like it should. But like
your altitude, did he clear you anything?
Well, he cleared me to 25 left. How could I land if I don't descend? Right?
Yeah, he'll call you if he's under a different pressure. I don't remember exactly the last radio call he gave you. So.
He said direct in airport, runway 25 left.
Yep.
You're cleared for the approach.
So yeah, cleared for the approach. Yeah, then you're all right.
Oh my gosh.
I was in live time and it was a lot easier to see the runway lights.
Oh, that's such a good point.
I just noticed, because I haven't been watching your stream. Obviously, I've been focusing on the flight, but got you on the audio. Because it was a lot easier for me. I could actually see that airport at least 25 miles out. I mean, it's clear tonight.
I see it now. It's way in the distance. I thought it was this green. God.
Yep.
Awful. Yeah, Pete, Comic Crazy's right. The night lights would have been the way to go. Comic Crazy's a pro.
Phoenix information November now, current altimeter is
maybe not.
No, Yeah, I mean, yeah. 25 left, straight in, he said. So and now I know where it is, but my goodness. If you're not sure, you can't see it. Yeah, Tweak's right. Yep. Tweak's right.
6343 Delta Albuquerque Center, loud and clear.
Don't destroy the little green we have, Bittersweet says. This is it, everybody. Here's the grass in Phoenix. This is a landmark. This is a point of interest, I believe, isn't it, Bittersweet?
6343 Delta, roger. What's your intended cruising altitude? 6343 Delta, roger. Your departures with me, squawk 7135.
What's up, Hippo? So for those
343 Delta, correct.
So for those that don't know, I am trying to learn how to use VATSIM, and this is the very first flight we have done on VATSIM. Everything we've done before is just patterns around airports. So this is a little nerve-wracking, but
November 1976, Phoenix winds 0904, runway 25 left, cleared to land.
Runway 25 left, cleared to land, November 1976.
Yeah, I didn't know how this guy was going to be, so when I landed, I just stayed straight on that center line and kept going until he told me where to go. He said, exit left, head to parking. Okay.
He said exit left, head to parking.
Yeah, you can actually vacate the runway. Once you land, you're supposed to vacate the runway as soon as you can.
Correct.
Just in case there's someone else coming in.
So we are doing 25 left,
call sign.
which is the farthest runway to the left, and it's the shortest.
Yeah, it's your most southern runway.
Yes.
Taxi via
East to
Alpha.
west.
Yes. And I can see it right there. That's ours right there. Tempe Town Lane Chair Flyer says, this is a great area to fly. We've flown here. There it is right there. There's Arizona State, right? The stadium. We've flown right over this mountain. And it's cool that we've flown this. Thanks for the follow, Chair. But we've never actually done a legit flight like this. And there it is. This is part of the approach. I love this mountain right here. And I love that stadium is so close. Boo woo, it's not even close. Your buddy's head got cut off. What happened? What I do?
Yeah, I'm gonna
wrong?
bounce out. It's just my avatar. I just wanted to come in and say, hey, good luck.
Oh.
You're doing great.
Oh.
And when you get on that runway, just listen to that controller.
Okay, no worries. Thank you, Comet Crazy.
Absolutely. I'll see you in chat.
Okay, thanks. I didn't realize. Sorry, I didn't realize. I only had a cropped part of it.
Yeah, this is Comet Crazy came in.
Sorry, it's back.
We have French stuff, off of the head.
Poor Fortune says, love Fliggity. Poor Fortune, thank you. Love you too. Four Whites, you're high. You're right, Joshua Casey. It's because I'm not focusing. I'm going to focus. By the way, get your predictions in.
What's your prediction? Prediction? Yes, prediction.
We're okay. This plane is very maneuverable. It's not like a 320 where, 4 white lights. It's going to take a much longer amount of time to correct.
Yeah, these are fairly straightforward. And you got lots of runway. You don't have to land at the numbers. You can land at the other end of the runway if you really felt like it.
Sure. We'll see what he says when we land. This was fun.
Glad he didn't drop off on us halfway through the flight.
I know. And it's good because this is stuff I needed to hear. I mean, we didn't have to deal with any odd instructions on landing. That helped. But dealing with different airspaces is really important. I'm glad we talked about it before the flight. Yep, 25 left. Runway in sight. You can see the numbers. Cut throttle. And the fuel truck is cutting us off. GG Tweak. Now let's listen to what he says.
Yeah, he might reach out to you, or you might.
Yes.
You might.
We might have to.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna turn here. Have a blinker.
Number 1976, welcome to correction, welcome to Phoenix. Vacate left when able, taxi hotel to parking.
Hotel to parking, November 1976. So he's just letting me choose where I want to go.
Exactly.
Hotel to parking. Easy.
Looks like we made it.
Thank you, Brace Yourself. Now that's the correct sound effect. Is the ATCing multiple airports? Yes. Yeah, he's approach. He's every airport for the most part. You're a pro is wrong. Oh my gosh. Not even remotely close to a pro.
Scout is 53, you parking north side or south side today?
Hippo, thank you.
We'll be parking on north side for Scouts 53.
Thank you. I get very stressed.
I will expect
Salty,
the ILS
thank
26
you.
Scouts 53.
We're, every night we've done something new and we've gotten better. VATSIM would stress me, Salty says. Yeah, well, it stresses me too. Hippo, you'd get stressed out. It's. It took some time for me to finally jump in the pool. You know. This is not a parking spot, is it?
Sure. Anywhere over here. This is all apron space. So.
Okay. Anywhere can be a parking spot. Good to know. I should have not been taxiing with full flaps.
Yeah. Plane,
Dude Smiles, thanks for the follow. What's that?
Oh, I was just gonna say, on my plane, I always taxi full flaps. They're full when I'm on the ground. Full flaps are always down.
Really? I thought you had to clean the plane, like spoilers, flaps, get it all level.
You don't have to do really any of that, but the main reason for mine is I got hydraulic flaps, and I don't want it to be bleeding down pressure from the system. So just leave them down there, and it's good.
Okay.
6343 Delta.
Dude Smiles.
Roger, just in
thanks for the
future, if you want
follow.
an intersection departure, you need to request it. If you assign you a wrong way, we assume you're going to go all the way to the end.
Magellan makes a really good
so
point.
if you want to go from in.
I'm going to switch the frequency so we don't have to hear him. That's a pro tip right there, by the way. You see how quick we turned him off? I went to Unicom. So I don't have to listen to him right now. Magellan says getting good at something involves being bad first. That's me, Magellan. Pete says it's a dude on the other end that enjoys controlling your fake planes as much as you enjoy flying them, if that helps the nerves at all. It's just this community having a good time with each other. That's true. That's true. But my understanding is some VATSIM controllers do approach it different from others. And and he was very professional. He was patient. He saw when I filed the flight plan tonight, he saw that I said new to VATSIM. My question to you, Blue Yonder, is how long are you allowed to say you're new to VATSIM?
I don't think it's policed, so forever.
Right. I mean, the question would be when do you have to stop saying Happy New Year? Like, what's the date? It's kind of the same idea.
7:32 hours.
New to VATSIM. Until you're internet famous. Okay, it's gonna be a while then. Magellan
I'm
says,
sure Shed still says new to VATSIM in his ATC.
Oh, that'd be funny. Magellan says, I'm utterly terrible at surfing, but at least I was a swimmer in Indiana all my life before moving to Cali, so at least I have one thing going for me. Where would you swim in Indiana? You do believe they can see when you join, Comic Crazy says. Chairflyer says VATSIM is cool, but I'm Team Pilot Edge. Both great programs. Yes, Pilot Edge costs money, though. And a pool, Pete. Okay. So, we've got a little bit of time. Would it be worth doing a little pattern work here? Or what do you recommend? What do you recommend?
You could ask him. He might not allow you to do it because it's a Class Bravo, but he might still let you do pattern work.
So would I just say, let me look. Who were we even talking to? Was that Phoenix Approach? Or Phoenix? Albuquerque Center. So would I say Albuquerque Center, November 1976, requesting pattern work?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yep, and he'll tell you if you're allowed to.
Yeah, he might say, no, please leave. You've been here long enough.
He might.
Albuquerque Center, November 1976, requesting pattern work. Oh, I'm on the wrong channel. Okay, it's okay. Let's switch it. Albuquerque Center, November 1976, requesting pattern work. Silence is deafening.
And over 1976, on request standby.
On request standby, is that what he said?
This guy was an air traffic controller. He'd be
Guys,
landing
53,
planes
Phoenix
at the wrong
Altimeter
freaking airport.
2998 at Jagle, cleared the ILS runway 26 approach.
Alright, at Jagle, cleared ILS 26 approach, guys, 53.
So we're going to wait and see what he says.
Yeah, over 1976, I'm going to be closing up in about 5 minutes, so as long as you keep it south of the field, you can just switch to advisory and we'll speak to you next time.
Okay, thank you very much. November 1976. He was saying 5 minutes. He's leaving. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not worth doing, right? Yeah.
Yeah, probably not worth.
Okay. Okay, he's going. Yeah, I heard something 5 minutes, and then you can fly south and talk to advisory. But what does that mean, advisory?
So effectively, that you'd have to stay on the south side of the field and do pattern work, and just stay on the advisory. So
what does that mean, advisory? Is that Unicom?
6343 Delta, Roger Radar service is terminated.
So I might do
VFR
that.
change to advisory is approved.
I might just do that real quick.
Yeah, and then you can learn, practically just practice doing uncontrolled procedures, because those are a little bit different than controlled procedures.
Okay.
Not terribly much, but...
So basically, I would need to still request... So am I...
Flight 712, you leave my airspace to the northwest.
Am I free to go up to
the radar service is
Hotel
terminated.
7?
And change to advisory frequency.
And then once I get to Hotel 7, would I have to radio him and say, requesting departure for pattern work, runway 25 left?
You still have to ask and make sure you can taxi out of the apron.
I still have to. I have to request from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So isn't that what I just did?
Just call him back and say you're ready to taxi.
Albuquerque Center, November 1976. We're ready to taxi for pattern work south.
1976, you can just announce intentions on 122.8.
So he doesn't want to hear it. November 1976, thank you very much. He just wanted to... He said announce your intentions on 122.8. He's like, yeah,
53, I'm going
he
to
don't care.
this before
He's
you get
out.
in. There's,
Okay. So we would just act as if we're doing this on our own. That's fine.
Exactly.
Johnny says he's going to bed. Well, he's leaving, Sheriff Flyer. He gone. So so my intent. I'm just now not. I'm not asking for permission anymore. I'm telling everyone what I'm going to do on 122.8. Okay.
Exactly. Now there is a couple minor differences when you're doing patterns on Unicom.
Okay.
There you go.
Wait, what did you just do? Oh, wait. What'd you do?
We got one!
Atticus, thanks for the follow. Sorry, I thought you... Did you send me something?
I don't think I did.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said, there we go.
So, he's just saying that he's closing. So.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We got one!
All right, so...
Auto Show, thanks for the follow. A third makes me worried for bots. Go ahead.
So the only difference really between doing pattern work for uncontrolled versus controlled, so we're doing uncontrolled right now. So on the Unicom, is instead of just calling for downwind, you call and say you're on downwind, and you call and say you're on final for the runway.
So you do
so
both.
that everybody knows where you are.
I see.
Exactly.
Okay, and Auto Show says I'm real, I swear. Thank you, Auto Show, for being real. 2 is fine. 3 is where I start to worry. Okay, is that the only difference?
Yeah, that's really the only major difference there.
Okay, so if I'm flying, and let's say you're flying, and we're both on Unicom, and we're both doing pattern work together, do we talk to each other?
Yeah, you're effectively just calling. So instead of calling approach or Unicom, you call what area traffic you're in. So or
like what if we're close to each other? Do I have to say I'm going to extend my base or I'm going to extend my downwind?
Yep, you want to be as communicative as possible. So if somebody's already in the pattern right in front of you, and you're going to come up on them, you just say you're going to be extending your base to give them spacing.
Okay. So I'm making the decisions based off of what I see out of my windows, and also who is on this screen, which I'm going to go on and zoom in a little bit more because there's a couple here. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. So I'm on Unicom, and I'll just say November 1976, getting ready to taxi taxiing to runway 25 left for pattern work, right?
Yep.
November 1976, taxiing to runway 25 left for pattern work. And then we're just going to follow this all the way down. Pretty easy. MSFSF says, I've been a member of VATSIM for a long time and I've never actually used it. Well, you know, we've found by me learning the last few days that some people have actually gotten back into it, which I think is just awesome. I love hearing some of our community's voices in VATSIM when I'm flying. It makes me feel not so alone.
Hapes reinstalled the whole flight sim.
I know. Hapes reinstalled the entire thing and did some flights. The Concorde is coming March 30th. Yes. Tweak says I'll jump in eventually. Awesome. VATSIM just recently had some great updates to its background tech. What does that mean, Pete?
Probably means they fix some latency issues or something like that. So just upgrades. Like I'm connected to the Canada server, so and I'm still able to hear you in near real time.
Chairflyer is making a great point. I didn't think about it. I should not have just said runway 25 left because everyone's on Unicom. I should have given the airport. That's right.
Exactly. That's
right.
So Phoenix traffic or Sky Harbor traffic.
Faster response time, less latency on other users, and better radio clarity. Well, in case you all didn't notice, I've turned off the radio effects because I already have a hard enough time understanding what they're telling me because I don't understand the lingo yet or the phraseology. At some point, I will turn that back on and try to understand it better. Thank you, Chairflyer. I'm really trying. Every night has been better. This is the first time we did a flight, and that's really exciting. So I love that, you know, every night now becomes more options of where we're taking off from, where we're flying into, different circumstances we have to deal with. Tonight, you know, we flew into a bigger city. We had to deal with different airspaces. It's really cool. Auto Show says, yep, so it'd be Phoenix traffic, 1976, taxiing to runway 25 left, departure for pattern work. Phoenix. You wouldn't have to say Phoenix traffic at the end, though, right?
You don't have to, but it's generally good practice to, just so that everybody knows, in case they miss that first part of the transmission.
Oh, okay. Just say place name at end, generally. Yeah, absolutely say the airport. We just didn't know beginning and end? Or just...
Yeah. You should always at the beginning, and at the end is mostly just common courtesy.
Okay. Level up next time. Take off VFR and get an IFR pop-up clearance. Well, Chairflyer, patience. That's a
complicated one.
Yes, and I do want... my goal is to be able to do, like, airline IFR. We can do that without VATSIM. I just need to learn how to do it with VATSIM. So that's kind of my next goal. I don't anticipate being able to do that for quite a while, but we'll get there. All right, so we're going to hold short. And look at that. I never turned my landing lights and strobe lights off when I landed. So I'm going to turn them off now. I should have done that already. One level of flaps. Nice Auto Show. What's it all for says self-announced transmissions may include aircraft type to aid in identification and detection. Paint schemes and color or style descriptions may be added to the use of the aircraft call sign and type, but should not replace the type or call sign. For example, Midwest Traffic, Twin Commander 51 Romeo Foxtrot 10 miles northeast, or Midwest Traffic 51 Romeo Foxtrot Twin Commander 10 miles northeast.
Yep. So in your case, you're the only guy around here, and
Yeah.
there's no other Cessnas, so
Yeah.
you'd say, you know,
Skyhawk.
on your departure, you'd say Skyhawk, yeah.
So, so we're not talking to anybody, so I don't have to address anybody. Just say Phoenix. Well, you said Phoenix area traffic.
Yeah, or Sky Harbor. Sky Harbor traffic's probably the best because it's most specific.
Sky Harbor?
Yeah, that's the airport name. It's Phoenix Sky Harbor International.
Okay, so just Sky Harbor. Okay.
Yeah.
So Sky Harbor area traffic, November 1976. Let me think. November 1976. Runway. I mean, gosh, how do I say that? Runway or departing for Patternwork. Runway 25 left. Sky Harbor traffic.
So exactly like Shawnee just said there is you can say Sky Harbor traffic is FL 1976, Skyhawk 1976 or Skyhawk 1976 departing runway 25 left remaining in pattern.
Remaining in pattern. Okay. Okay. Sky Harbor area traffic, November 1976, Skyhawk, departing runway 25 left, remaining in the pattern. Reverse Skyhawk, but whatever. Let's go.
It's fine, yeah. Brace yourself. No, there's no need to file a flight plan.
So yeah, if I'm already on the existing one, I don't have to redo it?
You don't need to file a flight plan ever for VFR. That's only to help the controllers.
But he's asking because I already had one filed.
Yeah.
So that doesn't doing this doesn't mess with the other one that's still filed currently?
Nope. No, that's when you file a flight plan, it's just for the air traffic controllers' benefit. It's just to help them out because you're not communicating with any of them. You're not providing them any information. There's no real need to deal with flight plans at all.
Now I'm going to do a left closed circuit pattern or left closed pattern because he said to stay south earlier. So I'm going to stick with what he had told me earlier. Just stick with that.
Yep.
Left closed traffic if you want to sound pro. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I was saying it now, but not when it counted, right? Okay, and hurry up. I want to get this straight so I at least have a guide whenever I need it. I know I'm not supposed to use it, but I'm a noob. So we'll kind of look at the surroundings. Should have looked at the elevation of this runway. So we could use this road. Go ahead.
Just 1126, the threshold.
1126 was the elevation?
Yep.
Okay. So we can use that road, and then that big dirt. Pete says I've screwed up so much I'm shocked they still let me talk on the radio.
Yeah, the important thing is getting your point across to the people on the other end. The phraseology thing in the real world, people tend to talk in a certain way, but the reality is that as long as you're getting your point across succinctly, that's the most important bit.
November 1976, midfield downwind, runway 25 left.
And you'll want to say Sky Harbor in that.
So I would want to say that? I wasn't sure if I needed to say it again. Like if I said it once. Go ahead.
Exactly. So in all uncontrolled situations, in every radio call, you want to make sure you have your location. So Sky Harbor and then your
But I wouldn't have done that if I was talking to someone.
Exactly.
Because they know where I am.
They already know. Exactly.
Okay.
They've already got the communication established.
Gotcha. My understanding is you're supposed to be flaps 1 on base. Is that correct?
It depends on the POH. But flaps 1 in a Cessna on base is a good bet.
Okay. So now I need to say on final as soon as I make this turn.
Exactly.
500.
November 1976 on final runway 25 left, Sky Harbor. Is that okay?
Yep, that's perfect.
Thanks, Pete. Long runway, so we'll take advantage.
It's their shortest one, yet it's still ridiculously long.
It's crazy.
8,000 feet almost.
8?
Well, 7,800 technically.
That's I think KLEX is 7,700 maybe. So this is longer than the longest runway at KLEX. Get your predictions in, by the way. No one guessed. Predictions are still open. That was 100. Not too bad. Magical Trevo says no carb heat on the 172.
Yeah, I think this is a fuel injected one. I couldn't imagine someone putting a G1000 in a carbureted 172.
So again, there's our road. It's a good guide.
Now, so you're only required to call on the downwind and on final. But some people, especially if the pattern is busy, generally if the pattern is busy, they'll also call when they're turning base. And sometimes, in a very rare situation, they'll call when they're flying crosswind as well.
Wow. So 4 times.
Yep. Just to kind of keep everybody, especially if there's like 4 people in the pattern, then having that information is really helpful.
Okay. Come over to KUS, longest runway. Well, and we flew there. We wanted to the other day, right? Didn't we do Austin to somewhere we were going to? We went Austin to somewhere. I forgot because we used Fort Worth Center.
Yep. Looks like Ropey signed up for VATSIM. Congrats.
Look at you, Ropey. Awesome, Ropey. Love it. Midfield downwind, runway 25 left, November 1976. Sky Harbor.
Sure you're saying Sky Harbor. Yeah.
Said it right at the end.
Yep.
Uncontrolled airports announce it all. More communication, better than less.
Yeah, you only have to on downwind and final, but most pilots won't call it on base unless there's other people in the area. And technically, if it's uncontrolled, you can be Nordo and don't have to make any radio calls. So it's mostly just style and courtesy.
Wish I could see better. This is where I want that track IR. Just can't see.
Or a Tobii eye tracker.
Yeah.
You should reach out to them. They might sponsor you or give you a big discount on one to promote it on stream.
Hold on. November 1976 on final runway 25 left, Sky Harbor.
Perfect.
I never think to ask for any kind of sponsorships or endorsements.
You get a purple check mark. I guarantee you most of these places will open up for that.
We'll see. Mullet Huntin' says, heck yeah, screw the radio uncontrolled. Also, short approaches only with disregard for traffic.
I actually do know a pilot who does that.
Really?
And he's pretty dangerous.
He's pretty dangerous, Mullet.
Pretty dangerous.
They like those purple check marks? I don't know, though. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Look at Hippo. Uh-huh. Wait, not a blue one. Signed up for VATSIM in 2015. Pretty sure I never did anything but pass the first test. Look at that red box. Yeah, I just don't think to do it KW. All right. We'll do Uno Mas and say full stop. Hippo told me that once you get a purple check mark, it means you get $1 million check from Twitch. Oh, you already got yours, Hippo? It took me a while to get mine, but because of the delay, they decided to do a second. What exactly is VATSIM, Mullet says? So, Mullet, it's essentially talking to real air traffic control.
Phoenix traffic, American 1305, taxing 26, Phoenix.
Okay. So, when I say real, it's virtual, but it is real people doing it. And they have a network that they can see all the planes.
Yeah.
And you have to know how to talk to them, and I'm trying to learn how to talk to them. All right, so I would say November 1976, midfield downwind runway 25 left, Sky Harbor, coming to full stop. Did I say coming to full stop? How do you say that?
You just say you can just say full stop in there. People know.
Just say full stop. There is it's called Pilot Edge, Mullet, but you have to pay for that one. This one's free. All right, here we go. November 1976, midfield downwind runway 25 left, Sky Harbor, full stop. For a full stop. Okay, Comic Craze, that makes sense.
Yeah, you can say for a full stop or just full stop. People don't need the for a, so it just adds extra words.
Okay. So just full stop is easier?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Mullet. VATSIM. If you know how to use Pilot Edge, you would definitely know how to use this one.
500.
You know, you can do some pattern work. You can say that you're going to exit the pattern. Is that true? Like you could say exiting pattern, departing west.
Yeah, you can say departing pattern westbound at X feet.
Departing pattern westbound at whatever your altitude is.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's the kind of thing I think would be cool. Like you can do that if you want to look around, see a little bit of, you know, places like this. You could look.
Yep. Oh yeah, didn't call final.
I didn't call final?
Nope.
I didn't call final. I was too busy talking about other things I might do in my fantasy land. Oops. Didn't call final. I mean, I did say I was going to come to a full stop, but you do need to do that on Unicom.
Yeah.
Okay. Flight Sim get VR fixed yet, Mullet says. I don't know about fixed, but apparently they've been really working to make it better.
Yeah, VR's always worked great for me.
You know what well, I guess I would need to, oh, come on, what are you doing? At this point, now that I've crossed onto the taxiway, I'll just tell everybody what I'm doing.
Yeah, so you want to tell them you're clear of the runway and you're taxiing back to the main.
November 1976, clear runway 25 left, taxiing to ramp. Ramp?
Yeah, that's fine because there's nobody else around. It's.
But if there were people here, what would I need to say? Via hotel?
Yeah. Via hotel is a good thing to say. You don't have to say it, but yeah.
Okay.
How you're getting there is a useful bit of information for people.
Okay. Well, I think I've had enough stress for tonight, but you know what? It wasn't as stressful as other nights we've had. We didn't have a lot of curveballs tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And this is a pretty standard kind of typical VFR flight. So you got to see what it's like to take off in a VFR situation in an uncontrolled airport. You got to land. You got to enter a Bravo, which is the hardest type of airspace to enter, and you got to land and do a bunch of circuits in there. So you're definitely progressing really well, real quick.
Thank you. That was, yeah, I'm really excited about it. And I think, and obviously, so tomorrow night and Saturday night, I'm not streaming. I don't stream on Fridays and Saturdays because of the group that I teach on weekends. I just don't have an opportunity. But I'll be back Sunday night, and Sunday I would imagine we'll do another flight following like we did tonight. So maybe I'll have a little bit of time to kind of think about how things went tonight and things I can do better. And yeah, we're making progress, definitely.
Yeah, depending what the weather's like this weekend, it looks like it's actually pretty good here. I might be out flying this weekend, but
Really?
if not, I'm more than likely tomorrow night I'm gonna be streaming. Probably do some VATSIM messing around.
Yeah, you should.
I might take an F-35 and just be that asshole.
Thank you, Brace Yourself. Hey, Brace Yourself, can you shout out Blue Yonder too? If you all don't follow Blue Yonder, you'll get more of this on his streams as well. Please, please, please give Blue Yonder a follow. Also, great content on YouTube too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said you put out a video, 2 videos recently, right?
Yeah, this past week here.
You're too busy.
I'm sure you haven't watched them.
I have not had a chance. This has been a busy week for me. The band that I work with, this is the time of year where they have to go perform for judges, and that happened today and yesterday and the day before. So it's been kind of an all-week thing. So I've been getting home later at night.
Phoenix traffic, Mech 1305, departing 26, Phoenix.
Did we clear the request for Fliggity Resorts 37 minutes ago? Oh, I never saw that. I don't think Matt Bees. I'll ask. Matt Bees, are you still here? I don't know if Matt's still here. Otherwise, I'll play it. If he's not, I'll reject and refund points. I don't know if Matt's still here. Sometimes Matt, I know he can't always hang out. You're literally going to be blasted apart by that jet if he advances the throttle. You're right. You're right, Jake. You're right. Pete says blue rocks. Look at that blue.
Thank you.
All right, well, we're done. I'm going to shut it down. And there it goes. Well done. Did take a little bit of time to get going, but I think that will change. Now I understand why it takes people hours to plan their flight on this.
Yeah. Well, the hardest part is planning a flight, and then you get into VATSIM, and then everybody's just closed, and that entire flight you've planned, you've prepared all your radio frequencies, your clearances, your altitudes, and then, oh, well, you may as well just be flying VFR.
Right.
Sucks.
Right. Right. All right, well, Blue Yonder, I'm going to say goodnight to you first. Good night.
Good night.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm going to disconnect. All right. So glad we did that. All right. So, who are we going to raid? Who are we going to raid? Let me look. Thanks for being here, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Hope you learned a little bit. Hope I learned a little bit. Night, brace yourself. We are going to say hello to one of my favorites, Old School Jay. He's not doing flight sim, but Jay's awesome, part of the community. So thanks everybody for being here. Let's go say hi to Jay. And again, no stream tomorrow or Saturday, but hopefully we'll be back Sunday. So let's do it again. All right. Night, everybody. Thanks again.
Including really cool jets, radio clone, Hive Time, Skatebird, Starter Up, Sis Crusher, Butterflies. Is it just me or did Fleet just raid? Hey guys, welcome in. Sorted, thank you so much for the resub. Here. Oh, thanks for doing the shout out there, Captain Fieldcard. Let's see if that worked. No, okay, I'm gonna have to redo that. The problem is I actually added back a normal shout out command for raids,